What's up, everyone? Welcome to stop number 2 of the Vans Park Series Global Qualifier. I'm Chris Pastris, and we are here in the heart of Brazilian skate and surf culture at Costeta Park in Floripa, Brazil, a city that boasts the largest amounts of parks and bowls per capita of any city here in the country of Brazil. And we are honored to bring the Vans Park Series to a country that has long contributed so much talent to the global skateboarding community. And today, we are joined by 20 of the world's best park terrain skateboarders who are going to battle it out in our semifinals and finals on the road to our first ever World Championships of Park Terrain Skateboarding in Malmö, Sweden. And to call all the ripping, I'm sending it up to my bros and broadcast legends, Chris Cote and Neil Hendrick. Take it away, my brothers.
Thank you so much, Pastris, getting us hyped. What an incredible location for Stop 2. Chris Cote here with Skate Encyclopedia, Neil Hendricks. I know you're psyched. We've been watching these guys rip this bowl. This is going to be an amazing event.
I love just being here in Florianopolis. This is the hometown of Pedro Barros, so you know he's going to bring the heat. And like Pastor said, this is just the heart and soul of Brazilian surf and skateboard culture. There's so many parks and bowls on this island. We love coming here.
Well, there's a lot of energy and, of course, a lot of talent. Pedro Barros, like you said, pretty much the Pied Piper of Brazilian skateboarding. When he came to town, built his bowl, everyone followed. That's what made this scene so incredible. Now, Neil, let's get into the nuts and bolts of how the Vans Pro Skate Park Series works. This is stop number 2. We're leading up to the World Championships in Malmö, Sweden. So let's get to how this thing works. The judging criteria. Basically, how do you win this contest?
Well, like any contest, it comes down to the difficulty of tricks. The judges are looking at style, speed, consistency, and use of park. It's 0 to 100 judging scale and best run counts. So these guys can afford to have some falls. They're going to try really hard runs when it's just your best run counts.
So different than the overall kind of judging thing. You have 4 chances to rip. You can fall on 3 of your runs and just nail that last run, and that could be the difference. Now, stop number 2. We started in Melbourne, Australia, where Chris Russell just destroyed St. Kilda Park, winning that first event. That brings us now to stop number 2 here in Floripa, Brazil.
Yeah, then we're going to take it up to the Great White North. We're going back to Hastings in Vancouver. That park's going to favor a little bit more the vert and big bowl guys, you know, compared to the small park here in Floripa. Then going back to Huntington Beach.
That's right. Then we have probably the biggest event as far as the crowd goes at the Vans Huntington Beach, the U.S. Open of Surfing. You're going to have 1 million people on the beach, brand new park, fresh every year, built right there on the beach. And from there, we get to the big dog, the World Championship. You got to skate a lot of different parks, a lot of different terrain to get here. And once you get here, it's on.
And that's a brand new park, and I've loved seeing the photos and video that's come out of the park design that's happening in Malmö right now.
Right now, we're going to go down to the deck with the ambassador of Florianopolis Thrash. Pedro Barros is with Chris Pastris.
Pedro, I know we got to let you warm up and get into this thing. We got all these pros here for Vans Park Series. What's the experience like having all these guys in your hometown?
Oh, it's insane. You know, we skate this place the whole year around, and it's always such a different scene. Just me and a couple friends at the park, some locals, and now having all these people watching and all these people coming out here to skate is just like, I think it's probably a really big pleasure for everybody to receive this level of skating in their home city.
Awesome. And you're carrying Floripa on your shoulders. Are you feeling any pressure before the contest?
I think I already did not me, but I think everybody from here already made the hardest possible that is making this contest happen here. So I think that's already enough for me. I'm going to just skate, have fun, and enjoy this moment because it's not going to happen every time. So just enjoy this moment and have a good time with my friends.
And describe for our viewers what makes the Brazilian skate scene different.
I think it's just the pure love for it. There's really not much involved. It's just a love for skating. People are here riding their boards to the end, their wheels to the end, their trucks till it falls apart. So, you know, it's just for the love of skating, and this is what it's really all about. It's that feeling, that adrenaline that just runs in your blood when you're doing it, and that's the real spirit about it.
Amen to that, my brother. We're going to let you go warm up after those amazing words. Best of luck, Pedro Barros. Back to you guys.
Wow, Pedro Barros, calm, cool, collected, scary for the competition.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pastris. Well, however you're watching today's contest, I hope you have a seatbelt because you're in for a wild ride. Let's take a look at the schedule starting at 12:15, the semifinals. The judges are going to have a meat cleaver to cut this thing down to 8 skaters.
Yeah, that is going to be a harsh cut. Just looking at these 4 heats, each heat is super stacked.
Yeah, going into this semifinals, so to cut this thing down to 8 skaters.
Yeah, that is going to be a harsh cut. Just looking at these 4 heats, each heat is super stacked.
Yeah, going into this semifinals, so it's pros. You got to mention some of these young Brazilians coming into this event. Heat 1, you got 3 Brazilians that absolutely shredded in yesterday's qualifiers. And Heat 3, of course, even Federico, that dude went off. And then, of course, you got your PS Select skaters. One name on there, we're excited to see Grant Taylor.
Yeah, I love watching Grant. But how about yesterday, like you said, the young Brazilians? Lucas Chaparral, not exactly the youngest guy, but he did some of the gnarliest tricks in practice the last couple days.
Yeah, and then there's that under Barras, right?
Yeah,
pretty good?
Exactly. You look down at the last Heat 3 and 4 with all the select pros, those are super stacked.
Well, speaking of selecting pros, we got asked to pick our favorites, and I'm going to throw it over to you, Neil Hendricks. Who you got?
Grant Taylor, man. He doesn't compete super often, so it's cool just to see him show up at something like this. Former Skater of the Year, so you know that he's been putting out amazing video parts and shooting stuff for the mags. He's one of the best park skaters of all time, hands down. Everyone shows up to watch when Grant Taylor's in the park. He's my pick.
Definitely a skater's skater. And my pick, I'm going with Ronnie Sandoval. Of course, smooth, powerful. He skates a lot of different parks, so he adapts easily to different kind of terrains. He had a taste of glory in Melbourne. And then, of course, you can't mention Ronnie Sandoval without talking about the frontside invert, heard around the world. So hopefully we'll see that from Ronnie. And from there, we're going to go down to the deck. Who you got, Chris Pastris?
Those are some rad picks, my boys, but I've been here right by the bowl for days, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to be hard to beat Pedro Barros. Coming off that X Games win, he's skating on fire. He's in his backyard, literally, and, there's a lot of space in this bowl, but not when Pedro's riding it. He's got the best lines of anyone. I'm picking Pedro Barros.
Well, okay, that was obvious. That was a safe pick, but you had to pick him.
Why does Pastris always get to choose first, man? We all wanted to take Pedro, too.
Well, home turf advantage might be one thing, but this is really nobody's home park. The actual park is only 6 months old, and then you think, okay, this is the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. We got to add some gnar factor, so we bowled in the corners 6 days ago. So nobody's been able to skate this park a lot.
Yeah, even
the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. We got to add some gnar factor, so we bowled in the corners 6 days ago. So nobody's been able to skate this park a lot.
Yeah, even the guys from here in Florianopolis have the same. Today in the prelim round, Tom Shar was doing huge backside ollies. You're going to see guys snapping both ways over that hip.
Yeah, from that hip. Then you see a feature that's usually used for safety, but not today, the guardrail.
We kind of took a flyer on this because I feel like guys are going to skate the rail. We saw a couple guys in the prelims yesterday do foot plants off it. We even saw a guy try and drop in off the TV monitor, next to the rail. That didn't work out so well. Better luck today. I think that someone's going to skate the rail.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that come into play. And then another equalizer, the shallow section.
Yeah, this thing is super mellow, and so these guys that skate so fast, it's really going to be key to kind of keep your speed and not get blown out. We've seen some guys go into the shallow section, and it's so mellow, just get blown out over the coping. So the guys that are really good at kind of controlling their speed are going to skate that section well.
Yeah, a lot of time to think through this long flat bottom, and from that flat bottom, they're going straight into the deep end.
Yeah, this is the brand new deep end that they just built a few days ago. It's only about 7 feet deep, so you're not going to see maybe the big 540 variations that we did in Melbourne a couple months ago, but this is going to be where the big tricks go down. You're going to see guys doing long Smith grinds and lip slides around that corner pocket. Good stuff is going to happen in the deep end.
I love the back-to-back potential of that deep end. So this park, like we said, relatively new. The corner's brand new. So how do you skate this thing? Well, there's one guy who you can always count on to figure out. This park, like we said, relatively new. The corner's brand new. So how do you skate this thing? Well, there's one guy who you can always count on to figure out a park. We have a firing line. One of our favorite parts of ThrasherMagazine.com, the firing line. You got to give it up to Zach Miller being able to keep up with Pedro Barras. And the crazy thing is that was a warm-up run early in the morning yesterday, coming in so hot.
And yeah, like you said, just following Pedro is hard enough. And shout out to Zach. Zach wasn't able to make the cut to skate today in the prelims yesterday, but we're keeping him busy with some follow cam duty.
Well, speaking of keeping busy, as you can see, the scene around the park, it's going off. It's a full party atmosphere around here. Everybody's so psyched the Vans Park Series is in town. And for you guys who aren't able to be here with us, you can feel like you are. Social media crew has been really on point. The Snapchat especially has been super entertaining. Take a look at the behind the scenes on Vans Snapchat.
Americanas só porque o cara quebrou tudo ali e quase quebrou também o ombro, né? Oliveira em oitavo, Colin Guerra em nono. Frontside final. Oh, big frontside goal. What the?
Pretty sure you're already following it, but Vans Park Series, that's our Snapchat. That'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at all the action. And from there, what do you say? Let's get this thing fired up. This is Floripa, the skate capital of Brazil. We're going to go straight into the semifinals for stop number 2 of the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. Let's take a look at the format. We've got 20 of the world's best park skaters meeting up in this qualifier. This is going to be crazy.
Yeah, we took top 11 from qualifiers. We had 9 Park Series Select Pros make the trip. A couple guys are hurt. Raven got hurt last week at X Games. Jaws is battling bronchitis. These guys are going to get 4 runs each. They're 45-second runs. Skate until you fall. Only your best run counts, and we're cutting to 8 for the finals.
This is where you don't want to be a judge because there are so many good skaters in the semifinals. So we have 4 semis of 5 skaters each, starting with semifinal heat number 1. This thing is stacked. Lucas Chaparral, Jorge Juno, Heracles Fagundes, Colin Graham, Miguel Oliveira. 3 Brazilians going up against 2 Americans. This is going to be heavy.
Yeah, these local guys are killing it. I've been down here a few times. I've never even seen this guy, Miguel. He kills it. Excited to see him in Heat 1.
The crowd is going wild. Standing room only at the park today. And we're going to get right into the semifinals. Heat number 1, absolutely stacked. Watch out for the tech attack of Lucas Chaparral. The dude's from right here in Sao Paulo, 28 years old. I would say this is probably his first major event, especially in the hometown. Take it away, Neil Hendricks.
Yeah, he's. I've seen Lucas skate some big street events before, but I really didn't know that he was that good at park terrain skateboarding. Look at that stand-up nose grind just popping off for him right there. We saw him pull that a few times yesterday in practice. But yeah, Lucas has been a huge highlight all week down here.
Right, so a bit of a false start, and here's how it works. If you fall, you're out. But if all of your favorite skateboarders are in the same heat, don't worry. This isn't like an advancement thing. We're taking the top 8 from the whole field. So 5 guys from one heat can make it into the finals.
Yeah, exactly. And when you look down, those last couple heats are really stacked with our Park Series Select Pros. So the first heat is completely made up. Actually, the first 2 heats are completely made up of our challengers that qualified yesterday. We had 11 guys advance from yesterday. So we're going to go through a couple heats of the challengers and then a couple heats of the Park Series Select Pros.
Great overview of the park right there. And like we said, these corners, these big bowls on both ends are only 6 days old. So people still getting used to it. And here goes Corey Juno from San Diego, California, 16 years old, skating in the Creature Camp. You know he's got tranny skills. He's had them since he was 4 years old. Here we go.
Yeah, Corey's had a great year so far. You know, had a 4th place finish down in Melbourne. Also skated really well at the Vans pool party, the combi pool. I love that little snap ollie over the pump bump. Love that front board slide just coming off. Looked like his front wheels just hung on the deck there.
So just cruising to start, kind of working it out. He hasn't had much time to practice, and the practice sessions have been super heated. So Corey Juno, he had a good slam yesterday, and we'll see if that's going to take its toll, but he's out. So these guys, like I said, they get 45 seconds or they fall. And here we go. The crowd's going wild for a local favorite, Heracles Fagundes. He lives here in Sao Paulo. Dude, absolutely ripped in practice. He's kind of got that Northern California steed going, ready for Santa Cruz. Super excited to watch Heracles, and the crowd's going to love this.
He's got a really good bag of lip tricks. He does Smith grind to fakie. He does stand-up frontside 5-0 to fakie through the corners. Look at that front feeble locked in around that corner pocket. Love the name too, Heracles.
Like command of the park at the moment.
Alley-oop front 5-0. Man, it looks like heat number 1 taking a minute to get the contest butterflies out. Couple uncharacteristic falls.
It was crowded down here yesterday, but I'll tell you what, it's twice as crowded and 10 times as loud. The local fans have come out, and they are psyched. So that was our first look at Heracles Fagundes, qualified through yesterday's just harsh challengers. There were so many good skaters, so many upsets going down. He took out some big names, so just to get into the semis is
60
huge.
skaters in the prelim round yesterday, and yeah, that cut to 11 was pretty harsh.
Here goes Colin Graham from Virginia Beach.
Colin's got a fresh head full of stitches from his trip down here. Look at this run. That's the hip that we were talking about. But yeah, Colin went down at a high adventure a few days ago, so got some stitches in the head, but didn't slow him down at all.
All right, so each of these skaters are going to get 4 tries. We got one more skater to go, Miguel Oliveira. I loved the beginning of Colin's run. That combo in that hot pocket, that was amazing. And then coming out so fast into a relatively small hip, that's going to be tricky for some of these guys. Yep. Here goes Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, I was not familiar with Miguel at all, man, and he has blown me away the last couple days from Curitiba down here in Brazil. Curitiba's always had a really great skate scene. They got some new concrete over there in Curitiba, so really impressed with this guy the last couple days. Wow, frontside invert, barely getting on top of it, straight into a crail slide. Solid back-to-back tricks for Miguel.
Rapid fire combo through that pocket.
Front blunt in the corner, 15 seconds to go for Miguel. Oh, nose bonk tail grab into the deep end, just falling off. We've not seen a completed run yet in Heat 1.
So far, so good. Almost making it to that 45-second mark. Again, you can fall and still advance in the finals. You're going to have to blow the judges away in that first 30 seconds. So there are your 5 skaters. They've each had one opportunity to get in the bowl. Our DJ is going to crank some metal, punk, thrash rock to get these guys fired up. And we're going to start back up at the top of the lineup. Lucas Chaparral. He did probably the most memorable trick of that qualification.
Dude, he did nose grind through the corner, nollie flip in. It's one of the, I mean, that's like a video part trick that you spend like a month on, and he just whipped it out in the practice session for the prelims yesterday. And I saw him do, he also in the prelims yesterday did a transfer into the deep end that no one else has done.
Well, let's see it. Lucas Chaparral from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah, hopefully he pulled some of that magic that got him. Wow, look at that nose grind popping in. That is so hard just to pop back in like that.
Made it look so easy.
Yeah, that's one of the best stand-up nose grinds that you will see in a park. Backside too. Doesn't skate as fast as some of the park slashers, but he's definitely got some of the tech lip tricks.
Sticking with the strengths, going tech.
Back lip down the little escalator. Looks like, oh, we almost had a full
so
run.
Close.
Yeah, that was only about 4 seconds to go.
3 or 4 seconds away from perfection. Great run nonetheless. Didn't have any big errors, but the judges, they're looking for difficulty of maneuvers, and you're thinking, okay, frontside air compared to that nose grind around the corner, the nose grind is going to win every time.
But you know what? It's really going to take, see that score of a 58.32. I think it's going to take a full 45-second run to make that top 8. When you look how stacked Heat 3 and 4 are, you're going to have to stay on your board the whole 45 seconds to advance.
And you got to mix it up. You can't go all tech. You got to blast a little bit. Here goes Corey Juno. We know he's got both of those on lock.
Yeah, hopefully that early fall woke him up last run, because he never falls on that front board slide through the deep end that he fell on last run. We're going to see him taking it back into the deep end, see if he goes for that front rock slide again. Oh, there it is.
Perfect.
Got a little wobbly, but was able to hang on. Wasn't really able to hit that hip with speed. Got a little loose on this run. But this is definitely Corey's best run so far. Snapping a little frontside ollie over the hip. Coming back, does he have time to make it back down to the deep end? Rad little front nose blunt.
Damn. What's he got for the ender? It's going to be time. Corey Juno. There you go.
Front blunt again. That's a solid
bonus.
second run. Oh, look at that. Front disaster, backside revert. That's like the hip swivel disaster.
Yeah, so he's going to have to figure out a way to fit those last 3 tricks in that 45 seconds. But, hey, a perfect run for Corey Juno. I love that it looks like there's so much flat bottom. Somehow he gained speed as he ran through a 73.37, the score to beat. So currently in first place and also sitting on top of the challenger list right now.
Yeah, after his 4th place finish in Melbourne, he's on top of the challenger points.
Heracles Fagundes.
Watch these lip tricks, man. This guy's got a big bag of them. There's the front feeble. Yeah, Heracles has been traveling a bit around the world the last year or so. He was down at the Vans pool party in California. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it into the main event, but he's killing all kind of concrete terrain recently.
That was scary. So he looks like he's mixing it up a little bit more in this run.
Using a little pump bump for speed. Big stale disaster in the corner. 10 seconds to go for Heracles. There's the frontside 5-0 to fakie. And twisted shoulder, front blunt. Looks like that's going to be time right there. Now we got the guys that got rid of the butterflies. We see some full runs now.
Yeah, that was a run that we saw him use to get through that crazy meat grinder qualifier yesterday. Heracles Fagundes. We have 3 judges. These guys are internationally acclaimed, the best judges in the world. We have a local Brazilian judge as well.
Yeah, Leo Caquinho, who's actually the father of one of our competitors, V. Caquinho, but Leo Caquinho was pro down here for years. He's a legendary skate park builder, actually helped build this park, helped build a lot of the local parks down here.
Here we go, all the way from Virginia Beach, Colin Graham.
I love the little late tweak on that frontside grab. There's the Indy Air, little chicken wing with that also. That was the trick that he fell on his first run. So Colin's got it figured out now. Colin's from Virginia Beach. Love that he's Virginia Beach has such a rich skate history, and Colin is leading the new generation of it. Back tail in the deep end, so many tricks back to back. He's still got 15 seconds to go, and he's done so many tricks, but front nose blunt gone wrong for Colin Graham.
The judges are really looking for just those little added bonuses. If it's not enough to do a big front side air, you got to tweak it. It's not enough to do a front blunt, you got to slide it. Like I said, these judges are looking for the nuances, and that's enough to get him in 3rd place, even though he didn't complete that 45-second run, a 66.46, so solid finish. But we're only taking 8.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough cut today.
Oh, man, you're going to have to be at least way up in the 70s to advance to the finals.
Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, this kid has such a rad style. Looks like his board is so wide for how small he is, man. I trip out on the boards that these guys are riding and just throwing it around like no problem. Taking the foot off on the body jar right there. Love that frontside invert and an eggplant
Rapid
in the deep
fire.
end. Yeah, he is rapid fire for sure. Now the trick is just to see if he can keep his speed after that front blunt. Back down towards the deep end. There's the nose bonk tail grab that he fell on, and the back D revert. This might be the best run we've seen in this heat so far. Finishing it off right here, little fakey lip slide. Oh, tough fall just with like 3 seconds to go.
There's definitely something to be said for finishing with confidence, but I'll tell you what, what he put together just right there is worthy of the massive crowd cheer. Miguel Oliveira just ripped that last 41 seconds.
Yeah.
So you think so when a guy kind of falls at the end like that after such a good run, do the judges have short-term memory?
They totally do. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the last, that's the last thing that they see, and all these guys are so close that I feel like you're going to have to stay on to make that top 8.
All right, new leader, Miguel Oliveira, stunning last run. Here we go. Lucas Chapa.
Yeah, Lucas has probably done, some of the hardest tricks we've seen, but hasn't made the full 45 seconds. How was that frontside 5-0 pop out into the lower section? Every run, he brings something new to the table that we haven't even seen in practice. See if this is the nose grind. Oh, that's the second time he's fallen on that nose grind in that corner. He just is going to fully stood up on top. It's almost like a nose manual on the deck.
You saw right there, he kind of got a little bit lost in the flat bottom, which I think we're going to see with some of these guys. And it's such quick decision-making to get to the wall you want. Corey Juno, he's got those decision-making abilities. We'll see if he can put it together here.
Yeah, Corey had a good last run. Little indie grab into the deep end, and then the back Smith. I love
the nipple ollie.
Yeah, just a little casual snap. Pumping for speed down in the deep end. Yeah, that was a smoother front board slide. Yeah, Corey's more on his line this run. Really working those lines in the deep end. Little frontside nose bone over that hip. Oh, whoa. That front blunt. It looked like his front foot tried to come off, but he was able to hold on to it. Just a few seconds to go, running out the clock right here. Oh my gosh, that was supposed to be a frontside flip to tail. He tried to salvage it, but good run right there for Corey Juno.
After time, he stayed on 45 seconds straight. And it's funny when you watch these guys skate the park. I just rolled it around this morning. It looks pretty mellow from up here, but it's bigger than you think. And
yeah.
The fact that these guys are flying around doing this, doing what they're doing, hanging up in that deep end, the thing is so gnarly when you roll up to it. So a testament to how good these guys are. Here goes Hercules Fagundes.
Heracles currently in third place with a 69.98. Oh, look at that. He did the front feeble and shuffled it to fakie.
Whoa.
Fakie front 50-50. Couple different lip trick variations this run from Heracles. That was insane. I thought he was just doing the same front feeble, and he took it to fakie, the frontside shifty ollie, getting away from him.
And I think what we're going to see different from Melbourne. Melbourne, we saw a lot of big airs. I think in this park, being a little bit smaller, coming in fakie, extending your grinds is really going to get the judges' attention.
But it's interesting because there's not really...
Extending your grinds is really going to get the judges' attention.
But it's interesting because there's not really like a flat
there's no
wall.
Straight wall, right?
They're all kind of escalating, deep to shallow. Tricky just to do those lip tricks.
All right, here we go in semifinal number 1, dropping back in, Colin Graham.
Colin Graham hasn't been able to hang on for the full 45 seconds yet, but hopefully he can this time around. Doing it for the Embassy crew out of Texas.
Smooth style. It's always fun to watch him skate.
Yeah, and these kids amaze me. I was mentioning, Colin getting stitches in his head, and he wasn't even phased by it. Front blunt to Smith.
Crazy combination right there. Jeez.
Oh, that looked like he might have got a little lost there. It looked like he was going for a finger flip lean to tail, but that's the same part of his run that he fell on last time.
That 4-trick combo he did in the deep end, that was probably the most technical combination we've seen yet.
Front blunt to front Smith is a good one. That's Pedro pulled that one out at Van's pool party a few weeks ago.
So that last run for Colin Graham is 61.60. Our last skater of this semifinal goes Miguel Oliveira. The crowd's loving Miguel.
Yeah, currently top score in heat number 1. Big backside air disaster. Yeah, this guy's been one of the pleasant surprises, and I love just the format of the Vans Park Series where it's open to any top pros or established AMs. We're able to find guys like this.
Whoa.
That, backside boneless on the extension up there, jumping all the way in. But like I was saying, these are guys that might not necessarily be on the global skateboarding radar, that are killing it in their respective areas, but we're able to help give them a little bit of foundation to make a name for themselves in the global skateboarding scene. So great job by Miguel Oliveira.
Winning a Vans Pro Skate Park Series event will definitely get your name on that radar.
Yeah, it'll probably get you a trip to Malmo also.
Lucas Chaparral. We'll see if he can pull out the tech abilities. 45 seconds.
There's that 5-0 hop in. Oh man, that's such a bummer. I wanted to see. That's such a bummer. I wanted to see some more of Lucas's magic. Hasn't really been able to put it together like he did yesterday in the Thrasher edits come out from this trip, from this contest. Lucas is probably going to have more tricks than anyone.
Watch for that nose grind nollie flip out. Corey Juno's in. 45 seconds.
Little indie nose bone into the deep end, straight into the backsmith.
So it looks like he's sticking to the same line as his previous couple runs.
There's the front board slide, straight into the backside ollie over the hip. Using the smaller corner to pump for speed. Gonna need to add a couple of those tech tricks here right at the end. There's the frontside flip. Yeah, got the frontside flip to tail stall.
Do you have a wireless mic with him? He's listening to you.
You got 10 seconds left, Corey.
You could see that foot setup.
Bam.
Yeah, this is the best run that Corey's had so far. Corey finally putting it together fast and strong, 45 seconds.
He's still going. He's at about a minute.
Wow, that was a great nose grind.
That
Good
was
to
a bonus.
see.
That was just for you.
Hey, he can keep going if he wants.
So when a guy like Corey right there basically does the same run and then adds a trick, does that get the judges hyped? Like they kind of are remembering what he's saying and then he's adding something at the end?
I do think the judges like to see guys do different lines, but in a tricky park like this, see, he actually, his score was lower. I think the judges were sick of seeing that same line. But in a tricky park like this, there's not really that many, you kind of have to stick with what works.
Well, Heracles Fagundes has been taking a different line each time. Here he goes, his fourth run.
There's the front feeble, taking it in forwards again this time. Last run we saw him take it to fakie. Uh-oh, looks like he got a little bit lost right there. Stalefish over the hip, snapping a little ollie into the shallow.
I like a little sketchiness in landing sometimes.
Oh, that alley-oop front 50-50 is so tricky. We saw him fall on that on one of his runs.
He needs to break that 75-point barrier to get into the lead.
Oh, huge stale disaster.
That's what he needed.
Love that frontside 5-0 to fakie. Wow!
Oh. That was the ender he needed.
That was
He knows it right there.
unbelievable.
He's got to be stoked on his run leading up to that trick. Had he made that trick,
But that was
I'm claiming
so
that was
close,
first.
man. Frontside half cab shove to front blunt. That would have been, that is the way to end a run right there.
So close. Heracles Fagundes. I still think it's going to be a good score. You saw the difference there. He didn't spend as much time in the flat bottom as Corey did. But that last trick, that was the difference maker right there.
That would have been probably 10 points onto his score.
Colin Graham, he's in. Last chance.
Colin currently in 4th place. Wow! Stalefish to Smith, just smashing the truck right there. Tweaking the method over the hip. It's amazing that he can get methoded out on such a small little tranny, taking the front foot off. This is the best run we've seen Colin put together so far. Oh, the lip slide gets away.
That trick's been the thorn in his side throughout
What a
all
bummer,
practice.
because really Colin's one of those guys that's trying to go to all these stops to be one of the top 5 challengers to make it to Malmo, and so that's going to hurt him.
It looked like a 75-point run from the very beginning. I like that he really didn't even go across the flat bottom. He's always up on part of the transition, which I think the judges are going to like. And here goes your current leader, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, who would have predicted at the beginning of the day that the new guy would be leading? Oh, look at that. That was like a behind-the-foot body jar. And then the frontside invert got away from him. Looked like he over-rotated on the frontside invert right there.
And that's going to be it for Heat 1 of the semifinals. Stop number 2, Vans Pro Skate Park Series. We are live from Florianopolis, Brazil. If you're Trying to be cool, trying to be local. Call it Floripa.
Floripa, love it. And yeah, we've got one of Florianopolis' finest in the next heat. We got V. Kikino just warming up for heat number 2, one of the local rippers.
Heat 2, you would think these were all PS Select skaters. We got Tom Char, Robin Bollian, young skater from France, who's been ripping through practice. Alex Sorgente, Tristan Rennie.
Yeah, Tristan Rennie is a transition killer from the Inland Empire of Southern California. Won the Vans pool party back in 2014 in his first pro contest. So
that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, that's a huge deal, man. That's one way to introduce yourself to professional skateboarding, by winning one of the biggest pool contests of the year.
Well, you got to think too about the invite list. So each contest, when you take these stops around the globe, you know, you have a giant list of skaters trying to get in. And this one, I mean, that list was 500 people long.
Yeah.
I know that you were part of the selection process, the opinion of, you know, kind of getting around to skate experts around the world. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Is he good enough? I mean, that's the first step in qualifying, is just getting your name on the list.
Yeah, the guys from the border really do a good job of, you know, if you're an established pro, you're able to come to any of these events, and they're also taking video submissions.
All right, well, as we get prepared for semifinal number 2, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. This is Vans Park Series.
Don't drop in until myself.
Welcome back to Floripa, Brazil. This is the Vans Pro Skate Park Series 2016 semifinal heat number 1. Blowing minds already. Is that? Should we get prepared for more, because that was already an insane
we haven't
heat.
seen nothing yet. Look at the lineup for heat 2, 3, and 4. It's going to get wild. Love how colorful that neighborhood is up on the hill. We're in the Costeira neighborhood here in Florianopolis, Brazil. Heat number 2 warming up right now.
And we have our first chance to talk to who is now basically a hometown hero. Miguel Oliveira is with Chris Pastras.
Thanks, guys. We got Miguel Oliveira and Marco Cruz here to translate for us. Miguel, I saw you go down on that frontside invert. Are you okay?
Ele viu que você caiu ali no frontside invert. Você tá bem?
Ah, eu caí ali, fui dar o reverse e bateu a rodinha, não foi. Girou o contrário, pá, foi de lateral.
Yeah, okay. He say he's okay. He just tried to do a frontside invert, but he will slam on the coping and he fall.
We're going to see him in finals, I hope. And I know you guys are from Brazil. We're in your town. We're in your country. What's it like having all these pros come to Floripa?
Você que é do Brasil, praticamente mora aqui na cidade. Como é para você ver tantos profissionais de skate vindo para o Brasil?
É uma honra, né? Eu fico lisonjeado de poder andar com Jack Fardell, Chris Russell, pessoas assim.
He say like it's an honor to skate with Jack Fardell and Chris Russell and all those guys here skating with him.
Awesome. And I asked Pedro this question. What's different about the Brazilian skate scene from the rest of the world?
Qual é a diferença da cena do skate brasileiro com o resto do mundo?
Acho que o Brasil fica mais fechado. Não aparece muito tanto quanto aparece para eles, pra gente. Nos Estados Unidos, pra gente.
He think the Brazilian skateboarding is more close, you know. do not appear everywhere like American skateboard, but it's great here.
More heart and soul. Best of luck, Miguel. You skated great. Hopefully we'll see you in our finals. Back to you guys. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah, Miguel Oliveira, his name now on the list of skaters to watch to potentially make that elusive Final 8. We're going to take a look at a quick recap of how we got here. So there you see Miguel Oliveira, 75.71. Corey Juno right behind him, 73.37. We saw the mark in Melbourne in that upper 70s to make the finals. So what do you think? 1 and 2, how are they looking?
You know, just looking at how stacked 3 and 4 are, I think it's going to be hard for those scores to make the top 8. But yeah, I'd love to see Corey and Miguel in there.
Well, the heats fly by. And we're going to take a look at a quick recap here of what just transpired. This was our opening semifinal number 1 here at the second stop. And, you know, this is a highlight reel already, and we're just started.
I love that nose grind popping in. Looked like his back wheels even clipped right there. Corey Juno, front rock slide through the deep end. High fives from the homies. Heracles with the alley-oop front 50-50. Colin Graham tweaking out the Indy air. Love that backside air disaster. There's a frontside flip to tail. A little bit of foot cheating by Corey Juno, and that nose grind in the deep end was proper.
Yeah, it's all about, again, using the entire part.
The half cab shove to front blunt.
That's the consistency factor.
That trick right there could have been the difference between Heracles making the finals and not, because I really think he could have had like a 78 if he would have made that trick.
Well, you got to skate a complete run. The judges are sticklers for keeping it consistent. So these next 5 skaters dropping in here are heavy hitters. Vinicius Caquino from right here in Florianopolis, Tom Shar. Of course, we've all heard of Tom Shar. Robin Boilian, newcomer from France. Alex Sorgente, dude's been on a contest tear for the better part of the last 5 years. And Tristan Rennie, you said it, he's got some huge wins under his belt. He is kind of a quiet guy coming into this thing, but I think he's going to have a
He skates
big
so
finish.
light-footed. He's got a really narrow stance and can really just snap ollies frontside and backside off these small hips. Looks like V's getting ready to go.
Vinicius Caquino, known all around as V. He is a fan favorite. Dude was shredding in practice, and here we go.
Grew up right here in Florianopolis, so he's got a ton of friends and family in the crowd. Love that tweaked out Indy air over the hip. He's so good at keeping his speed around these corners, using the different transitions to pump for speed. Wow, lip slide, Smith grind, revert. Little 180 slide over the pump bump. He's already done so many tricks. Still has 15 seconds. Wow, looked like he didn't lock into the back Smith. Still held on. Oh, wow, faking nose pick, 180 out. I have no idea.
I've never seen that in a contest.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do it. That was insane. I do not think he even planned that. That's going to be time right at the fall for V. That fall at times not going to hurt him too much on the score sheets, but wow, that was fun to watch.
So when you saw on that description of the judging use of park, that's how you use the whole park.
No
he hit
kidding.
every piece of this coping.
Every single inch.
Wow.
Yeah,
he deserves to be tired. That was crazy.
Yeah, that fakey nose pick looked like he was coming in forwards and then just rotated 180 right at the last second. That's the first time we've seen anyone in the 80s, 81.55.
So skateboarders, take note. That's how you destroy a park. Tom Shard knows now he's got a bigger ask than before. We were looking at a 75-ish to get you into the finals, but now we're looking at the 80s. So Tom Shar is dropping in, 45 seconds.
Love that quick little backside snap. You know Tom can boost in the deep end. Huge stale fish. Landed a little low, still held on with the back D and the back Smith. Tom powered through the prelim round yesterday. He's going to all these Park Series contests trying to qualify for Malmo through the Challengers. Big backside ollie disaster.
always known as so consistent.
Love that backside ollie over the hip right there. See if he can make it back down to the deep end one more time before time. Running out right here. Oh, the frontside nose bone just gets away from him. Looks like there's been a few guys that really fall right at time, and that you're just leaving it up to the judges at that point.
We're only 2 skateboarders in this heat, and it's already the next level.
Yeah,
We've already
totally.
lifted it up one level.
These guys were the top of the list yesterday in the prelim round.
Young Frenchman, Robin Boyen. Hold up. He's psychic. He wants to get in. He's 17 years old. This dude flies.
Yeah, it was cool to see a couple of the young Euro rippers, Robin and Ivan Frederico, show up for the prelims yesterday, and they just crushed it. Back boneless disaster. Look at how loose Robin's trucks are, man. This guy kills it on all sizes of transitions. I saw him down in Australia for the big bowl contest in February this year. Oh.
He was on his way to an 80 right there.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up making one of his runs today for sure.
So fast, flowing. That's what the judges like to see. They don't like to see you try between tricks. They just want to see perfect linkage to that next wall.
We talked about it. It's tricky to keep your speed for a 45-second run in this park. It's easy to cruise around and just skate with your buddies and skate one part of the park, but to skate the whole park for a 45-second contest run, you got to go fast and you got to be good.
Lake Worth, Florida, but by now he's been around the world and back 17 times. Alex Sorgente, this dude's a contest killer, super consistent. We'll see what he's got for us. He's got 45 seconds.
Yeah, and he's always good at, keeping your speed. He's always good at finding some unique lines. Curious to see in this heat if he's has one run that he's sticking to, or if he's going to try and mix it up and try different tricks, taking it to fakie over the hip right there. Wow, fakie 5-0, taking it to fakie over that hip. Half cab disaster in the deep end. Looked like he missed his truck just a little bit right there. Still able to throw the front blunt. 15 seconds to go. Wow, cab over the hip, just gone wrong with 9 seconds to go.
I like to see that forwards and fakie and switch all mixed up in a run and making it look effortless like Alex Sorgente just did there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how hard it is to keep your speed. It's even harder going backwards. And he has so many tricks that he can just half cab those hips and just do so many fakie lip tricks that, Alex definitely has a unique take on how to skate this park.
Solid start for Sorgente, 70.73. It's enough right now for 5th place. From Rialto, California, Tristan Rennie.
Yeah, doing it for the Badlands. He's come under the wing of all the Badlands pool skaters in the Inland Empire, Salba and that crew. And Tristan is he's only 17 years old, but he's been killing it for years. We mentioned he won the pool party a couple years ago, and he was really, really wanting to advance to today from the prelim round yesterday. Love that little shifty right there.
Didn't get the chance to see Tristan in Melbourne, but a strong finish him will get him right back in that conversation.
Look at that back lip into the deep end. So light-footed. Oh, blunt slide over the hip. That would be such a sick line. Hopefully we'll see that in run number 2 for Tristan.
On paper, 45 seconds doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're flying around a skate park, it's forever. I mean, that's when your legs start to get a little bit wobbly at that 40-second mark, even 35 seconds.
And a lot of times you'll plan a run, but if you land something just a little bit wrong or the wrong angle, you have to totally switch it up.
We're back to V, top of the lineup. Here we go.
Even just the first 2 seconds, he's going faster than anyone in this heat.
Well, the judges like speed. I mean, that's one thing you gotta know.
V's one of the guys that has really come under the wing of Pedro just from growing up here in Florianopolis. V got his first opportunity to travel the world kind of under the wing of Pedro Barros. And, it looks like he is a little bit of the Pedro speed has rubbed off on V.
He's fired up.
He is, man. I love it.
Crowd loves it, too. We got about 2 giant grandstands full of psyching Brazilian skate fans.
You know, one of V's tricks that he does is the backsmith revert. I wonder if he was trying to pop up into the deep end to backsmith and take it to back revert.
Oh, hopefully he gets another try. Here goes Tom Shar.
There's that big stale fish. Oh, man.
Too stale.
Yeah, last run he landed a little low and was able to absorb it. That time the low landing took him out. Luckily, looks like he's okay. Man, I saw him do that trick 100 times yesterday and not even come close to falling.
There's sometimes when you see these guys slam on tricks that we've seen them do over and over, it's just foreshadowing. They're thinking too much about the next wall or the next trick. Robin Bullion. We'll see if he can put it together for a complete 45-second run. Love this start.
Wow, that was a huge frontside air disaster. Robin is on fire. Backside nose grab 360 in the deep end. What a killer line. He almost fell on the little fakey 180 over the pump bump.
Those 3 tricks within a 1 second time span.
No kidding. Robin has got so much better the last couple years. I've seen Robin at some of the smaller events around the world, and just seeing him this week, he is so much better than the last time I skated with him just 3 or 4 months ago.
It looks like he was going for a
was that a no comply?
tail slide or something. Yeah, Robin Bullion. I saw him skating the House of Vans London Bowl, and he destroyed that thing. I was pretty excited to see his name on the list here. He was on his way again to a stellar run. That fall at the end, pretty much cut off a big opportunity. Here goes Alex Sorgente.
Yeah, at our first stop down in Melbourne, Alex took a huge slam in practice, had to get stitched up, still made it back and made the finals. I believe he ended up in 8th place down in Melbourne, so we definitely know that he's got the skills to make the finals here in the Park Series. Cab disaster in the deep end. What a rad line. We talked about him being able to keep his speed going fakie.
Yeah, and totally changing things up from his first go.
Yeah. Look at that backside ollie over the hip, back into the deep end with a back D. Whoa, lean 270 over the hip.
Stay on, just stay up. Finish this run.
This is one of the best runs we've seen in the first 2 heats. Looks like last trick right here. Boneless to tail. That's a solid 45 seconds for Alex Sorgente.
Commanding run right there for Sorgente. That's what I come to expect from him.
Yeah.
Super consistent.
That could be we might have another guy in the 80s to join V. Kikino. Curious to see what the judges say about Alex Sorgente's run.
Well, in watching him in practice, he, well, this is a false start. We're going to wait for some scores. Tristan Rennie will be up next. But yeah, there's subtle differences between every run and every trick. So sometimes the judges need to debate a little bit, and that's fine with us. We want the proper 8 skaters, and it's official. We're on 45 seconds for Tristan Rennie.
And Alex Sorgente's score was a 79.81, so just barely under 80. So looks like he's currently in 2nd place for Sorgente.
Seems like some of these guys are falling victim to landing too far into the flats, and that really slows you down. You need every bit of speed in this part.
Totally.
15 seconds left. Nice frontside ollie.
A little bit lost in the flat bottom, but still
look at
flying.
that alley-oop in the air, Rune Glifberg style, ollieing up into the nose stall. Wow, cab back lip over the hip. Yeah, it looked like he got a little lost halfway through that run, but what a finish. That was amazing.
How the hell did he get that speed burst? It looked like he was about to stop, and just out of nowhere,
the alley-oop Indy,
hyper-boost.
ollied into a nose stall, and then cab back lip slide. That was amazing. Really great finish to Tristan Rennie's 2nd run.
Yeah, he's got a smooth style, and obviously right there you see the consistency factor is with him. He's handled the pressure. An 80.56. That's enough to get him into 2nd place. That's going to 0.56. That's enough to get him into 2nd place. That's going to send some chills through that first heat.
So now we got 2 skaters in the 80s, V. Kikino 8-1. So, yeah, we have 2 really stacked heats after these guys. So you're going to have to be in the 80s to make top 8.
If I'm Miguel and if I'm Corey, I'm kind of tripping right now because this heat is, these guys are firing on all cylinders.
This full speed attack, V. Kikino right here.
I want to see another complete run from V. Love that. Love that.
I just want to see V do that back Smith, back revert. See if he, oh man, it looked like his wheels just got hung on the re-entry.
Wow.
Oh man, that was a hard slam, and that is a separated shoulder right there.
Ouch. Those are some of the worst slams when you're just kind of setting up and there's a lump. Of course, we have an incredible medical staff on hand. There's a whole tent dedicated to keeping these guys.
I don't like to predict injuries, but I've done that exact one before on that exact slam, and that looks like a separated shoulder for V. Kikino. The good thing is you can skate with that injury because you can't hurt it any worse, but that is going to hurt for a few weeks.
Well, also the fact that he's a little badass. I mean, he is tough as nails. So if it's possible for him to stand on a skateboard, he will skate again.
Man, what if he advances to the finals with a separated shoulder? See Andre Barros up there, a couple of the Florianopolis locals worried about the health of their compadre.
Think of some of the Brazilian skateboarders who are household names, a guy like Bob Burnquist, who wins contests with broken legs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what these guys are made of. And Tom Schaar.
This is Robin Bolin.
Oh, this is just a, we're a go. Robin Bolin. He's ripping. We might have gone out of order, but this run will most likely count for Robin.
I love how all these guys have such loose trucks, man. They got these wide boards and really loose trucks just to take these small trainees. Look at that front 50 ollie in. That's a different transfer out of that deep end that we have seen.
That little gap right there is no joke. That thing's 2.5 feet, and if you hang up coming down from that higher level, you are going to be in the medical tent for sure. All right, so we just did a little switch up right there, but still going to roll. And Tom Schaar is going to be coming in next. See if he can put it together. 45 seconds on the clock.
Tom currently in 4th place with a 75, and the stalefish went wrong again. It looked like Tom might have been spooked a little bit after that slam his last run.
Yeah, what is it like to go after you see one of your buddies slam like that?
You know, it's hard, but guys like this that are used to skating in contests.
Sorry, Tom, there was some miscommunication over here.
Looks like
he could have a second chance here.
We told him to stop before he tried anything,
so yeah, they actually had to reset the clock. He jumped the gun just a little bit, and luckily for him, he's going to have a rebate. When we do get in the finals, there is a first wall rebate. That's not in play now.
Yeah.
So that was a lucky.
He just
break.
got an announcer's rebate. Lucky for him, I guarantee he makes this stalefish right here. He got a second chance.
You're right. You were absolutely right, Neil.
Oh, I love that backside boneless just jumping in on re-entry. Yeah, like I was mentioning, Tom's currently in 4th place right now with a 75. You know, Tom grew up skating really, really big stuff, but he has become so adept at skating all types of transition recently. He kills it at the pool party, he kills it on the mega ramp, he kills it on vert, and he's been killing the Vans Park Series.
That backside ollie is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, that is a rad backside ollie right there.
One thing Tom Schaar's doing that that was huge, is he's taking really long lines to get to where he's going. He might want to redirect just a little bit. That's eating up a lot of time going from all the way to the deep end, all the way to that
Look at that little backside 180
wall.
over the pump bump. That's the best run we've seen out of Tom Schaar. Really curious where the judges put him after that run.
It looks like he kind of realized he dodged a bullet with that first kind of false start.
He did.
But, I mean, that stalefish right there, if you open the dictionary and you look at stalefish, that's what you're going to see. That was
He's
perfect.
got a good one. I love just that leg fold, kind of old Mark Gonzalez style.
Alex Sorgente, we are rolling.
Yeah, we saw Alex put a good score on the board, but he's been bumped down to 3rd since then. Yeah, like you mentioned, different runs every time, totally different lines. Wow, that backside ollie floating way over the deck. Tweaked out nose grab. Oh, wow. Big nose grab, rock fakie, half cab over the hip, gone wrong. That was a rad line.
Spun out of control.
You know,
had it going good right there at the beginning.
Alex and Tom have been traveling down here together. I saw those guys pull up out of the shuttle this morning. I know that these guys have been having a fun trip. I know their parents are watching at home, so they've been good boys. Alex and Tom have been good boys. We've been keeping our eye on them.
All right, with 45 seconds on the clock, trying to up the ante here, it is Tristan Rennie.
Yeah, Tristan had a great ending to his last run. If he can just keep that flow and keep that speed for the whole 45 seconds, we could see him in the top 8 for sure. There's that alley-oop into air, landed completely in the flat. I don't know if he caught any tranny right there. Yeah, he tic-tac for speed. Another alley-oop out of the deep end. Slob plant disaster.
Still rolling, 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, using those little side transitions for speed. Little frontside grab over the hip.
10 seconds left.
What's the ender going to be, Tristan?
Little no slide to fakie.
That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, that was a good run. I wanted to see that cab back lip over the hip again, but it looked like he only pulled that one out when he got lost the last run.
That run, for all intents and purposes, should have been over when he landed in the flats. The fact that he was able to stay on and tic-tac almost up to the coping, that in itself is a crazy trick.
He landed completely in the flat. So, yeah, it looked like his score showed that he didn't have the best landing on a couple of those tricks. But Tristan is still in second place, right behind V. Kikino, who is actually over in the medical tent right now. We're not even sure if V is able to continue.
All right, so we're gonna skip.
So we're gonna skip V. We're gonna go straight to Tom Shar.
Oh, what a bummer! It looks like V is not able to enter the bell for his next run.
Well, the damage could be done. We'll see what happens. Tom Shar now. Be done. We'll see what happens. Tom Shar now. Straight into the flats. Now he's flying. Still just looking a little bit, there's too much flat bottom in this run.
he needs to use some of those side transitions just a little bit more just to keep his speed, but that is a rad floaty backside ollie to tail just with a few seconds to go right now. Setting up for a kickflip. Wow, kickflip stalefish, are you kidding me?
That's what he needed. That is what he needed.
That is exactly, I saw his front foot set up and you knew he was gonna flip his board. I thought he was gonna go backside and do a kickflip indie. Kickflip stalefish was insane. He was so close to making that.
So he needs an 81.56 to overtake first place. Looks like Pedro going over to check on V. Tom Shar, solid run up until the end. It's enough to get him in fourth place. So 77.51. That's right there in the conversation. But
that's
look
not
at who's coming up in these next two.
Yeah, that's not going to be in the top 8, unfortunately. I do think that Tom's going to be okay with that result because he's really trying to stay in that top 5 challenger position to make it to Malmo. But I do not think that's going to make it into the top 8, unfortunately. You look down here, we got, Hatchell, Russell, Pedro, Fardell, Kowalski. It is going to be tough to make this top 8.
Well, you got to thank that first heat for warming up the park, because now it's, as they say, getting lit. Here goes Robin Bolian.
This is another kid that if he makes 45 seconds, which he hasn't yet, he could definitely be in the top 8. Look at that, backside 360 nose grab.
Just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, Robin has so many tricks. Those loose trucks, really able to change direction super quick. Look at that mute grab over the hip. That's a different one. Yeah, Robin really needs to stay on this whole 45 seconds. Hasn't got a clean one yet. Look at that front 50 ollieing over the hip. 10 seconds to go. Can Robin stay on?
Hang on, buddy.
Frontside air revert gets away from him, and that fall is going to be crucial to him making the top 8.
That just looked like confusion and trick selection, like he was going up thinking one thing and his body did something completely different.
Oh, man.
Which happens. It's hard to pick your tricks when you're going so fast at these walls. You can kind of figure out your line, where you're going to go, but once you get there, everything changes.
Yep. sometimes you question, what you're doing. So it looks like Robin was currently in ninth leading into that run. He's going to bump up a little bit. 75 bumps him from ninth to sixth just on that run.
Will that be enough, Neil? Will that be enough to get him to the finals?
Nope. I think you're going to need, like we said, looking at the next two heats, you're going to need more than that.
Alex Sorgente, final chance to make the finals.
Yeah, different lines every run for Alex Sorgente. And see how he's really pumping those side transitions? That seems to be the key to keeping your speed in this park.
Love
wow.
that trick.
Full cab blunt in the deep end. I love those ollies over the hip because he really floats over the deck a lot.
Got a little bit of similarity to Grayson Fletcher in the flow.
Wow.
You got it.
I don't know if the judges are going to count that one. He fully stepped off his board with both feet, but it's pretty rad contest make.
It's a close call for a contest make. That's on the edge. The crowd liked it. The crowd thought it was amazing.
Hey, I liked it.
I'd take it any day. Alex Sorgente, he needs 81.56 for first place. Somebody find his hat. It's gone. So Sorgente flowing around the park, and just watching these guys do those casual frontside and backside ollies over that hip that we knew was going to be a pretty sketchy zone.
He got a
really
high five
fun.
from Krishna Soy. That's
a win in itself.
Exactly. That might be just as good as making the cut.
All right, dropping in his fourth run here in semifinal, number 2, Californian Ripper, Tristan Rennie.
Yeah, and he's in second right now, so Tristan is at least in the conversation for a final spot. He's got an 80.56, and we saw just from some of the tricks he did, he's got a little bit more in that bag. Wow, backside air disaster over the hip. Looked like the back foot was all over the place on that one.
I like it. You got to stay out of the flats. I mean, that is really becoming a factor here.
Love that ollie to fakie.
A little bit lost, but he's so good at regaining his line.
Wow. Slob plant disaster. Snapping his feet back into that classic narrow stance he's got. Last few seconds right here for Tristan. Huge ollie truck smash.
Ooh, sketchy backside carve, but again, got it back.
Oh, there's the alley-oop Indy again, washing out in the flat bottom.
That was after time, so no harm, no foul. Looking for an 81.56. That was a good run.
Yeah,
I think he put it together.
He's got an 80 on the board already, and I think that was a pretty similar run to, actually goes down a bit, 74.72. His run 2 score is gonna stay his top score. That's an 80.56, so still in second place. So that's at least, I think V and Tristan that are in the 80s are at least in the conversation for the finals position, but we don't even know if V will be able to skate.
Yeah, we will keep you guys updated as to the possible injury for a local favorite, Vinicius Caquino. And you are definitely going to want to stick around for these next 2 semis, full of skate firepower, crowd out in full force here in Floripa. We're going to take
standing room only.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more action. We're live from Florianopolis. This is the Vans Park Series. We are back. We're live. This is the Vans Pro Skate Park Series, Florianopolis, here in beautiful Brazil. Calling this the skate epicenter of this amazing country. And you know, there's a couple guys, of course, to thank, but you got to thank this is Pedro Avaros' backyard. But Chris Pastris is making a home here on the deck. Who you got, Chris?
What's up, guys? We got V. Caquinho here. Just went down hard in the bowl. Saw our super talented medical staff. V, what's going on with the shoulder?
I fucked up my collarbone now in this all-in, but it's good now. We'll see you skate now after.
You're going to try to skate.
Yeah, I'm going to try to skate and see what's going on. Eh?
You are a warrior. So what was the medical staff's assessment? Did they say separated shoulder or did they not know?
Yeah, they say you separate a little bit your collarbone to your shoulder, but we'll see. Eh? I want to skate. I want to skate.
You are an animal. Something tells me you're going to skate. And speaking of being an animal, Pedro has a huge influence here in Brazil and a huge influence on your crew. Tell us a little bit about Pedro and how he's influenced you guys.
A lot, man. He influences like every day, every session. He has a power. That's the influence for us, you know, the power. And that's it. Yeah.
Go get him. No excuses.
Go get him. No excuses. That's it. Yeah.
Well, V. Caquinho, you are a warrior. Round of applause for V. Caquinho. He's gonna skate. And back to you guys up top. Yes, thank you, V. Good luck.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more than a separated shoulder to hold that kid back. He is a beast, and I'm looking forward to seeing
I love
him
that
skate again.
he's still smiling, man. That's insane.
He has, ever since the first event in Melbourne, he's been smiling since the first second I met him, and I love it. We're going to take a look at the recap before we get into semifinal heat number 3. And again, it's like we had a flame going and somebody just poured gasoline on it because I love it. We're going to take a look at the recap before we get into semifinal heat number 3. And again, it's like we had a flame going and somebody just poured gasoline on it because
right there. That was one of V's slams. That was not the one that took his shoulder out. I think he's joking right there with the little board kick. Alex Sorgente, huge body jar with the front foot off. Tristan Rennie, alley-oop in the air. Look at this combination. Cab, back lip, over the hip. Little hand drag for style.
All right, Neil, put your judge's hat on. What is the difference between those 80s and those low 70s?
Yeah, it's keeping your speed and just packing a ton of tricks into those 45 seconds.
And what do you think about the flat bottom? Seems to be coming into play. Seems to be a big time waster for some of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. You got to really like skate the perimeter, you know, and I think we're going to see it in Pedro's run. Pedro's going to show us how to skate this park.
That was your Vans Pro Skate Park Series recap for semifinal heat number 2. Now we're getting into some of these household names. There you see the current standings. Vinicius Caquinho, V. With that injury, he's got that 81.55. That's a perfect illustration of the best run counts.
Yeah.
His 3 runs didn't really do much for him, but that huge opener, that 81.55, that was the difference maker.
Yeah, V didn't even show up for his last run. So,
all right, some underground names on that current leaderboard. Now let's take a look at some of the names that are, I would say, more established. But this is a wide open event. Even Federico absolutely destroyed qualifiers. He's going to be going up against Kevin Kowalski, Jack Fardell, Rowan Zarilla, and Ronnie Sandoval. This is going to be an epic heat.
Yeah, Ronnie and Kevin Kowalski were in our finals in Melbourne, so we know that they have the chops to make it into the finals of a Vans Park Series event.
I'd like to put in a request to Ronnie for a frontside invert.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll bring that out. But before we get there, all the way from Turin, Italy, way up in the mountains, Ivan Federico. He's soft-spoken, but I'll tell you what,
yeah.
He steps on his board, watch the hell out.
First place qualifier. We knew that Ivan was going to be a threat to make it into the semis today, but it was a huge shock to us how good he skated yesterday. This is another kid that I've seen skating all these international events. Kickflip melon. Got away from him right there.
Just start with the hardest trick.
Yeah, hey, I saw him practicing that this morning. He's got a lot more difficulty that he's going to try and pull out for the semis.
So again, 45-second runs, or when you fall, you're done. So you get 4 opportunities. You see Yvonne right there gathering himself. He's got to know that he's the underdog right now, even though he did win qualifiers. So he's got, a lot to prove, but he's going to put it together, that's for sure.
What you did yesterday does not matter. It's a clean sheet today.
Yeah, and in its best run, best one run. It's not overall impression. So Kevin Kowalski, this guy's got a park just like this in his backyard, so we'll see what he can do.
Was on the podium down in Melbourne a couple months ago, but he's been fighting a little bit of an ankle injury the last couple weeks, so hasn't got as much practice time and skate time as he's wanted the last couple weeks. I actually saw him show up to X Games down in Texas last week with a boot on his foot, and he said, I'm just going to take it off the day of the contest. And it worked out for him there.
It's like he's just kind of getting his bearings. Didn't see much of Kevin in practice. I think he showed up the day of the contest.
Yeah. Pivot fakie in the deep end. Fakie hang up to Smith.
Just a solid little combo
that
right
was,
there.
Man.
Yeah, that looked like a setup run, and as far as setup run goes, it was crazy.
Yeah. Kevin's an experienced contest skater, so he knows it's good to kind of get one on the board and then try and add some more difficult tricks the next couple runs.
So the waiting for the score comes in. That would be enough to get him knocking on the door.
Yeah.
But
you're
gonna have to get something above a 75.
He's in the top 8 for now, but it's not going to be for long.
All right, our first look at Jack Fardell. He wasn't with us in Melbourne, but he is one of our PS Select pros, coming off a crazy part in the Adidas video. Here he goes, Jack Fardell.
He wasn't able to make it to his home country event because he was finishing his video part, which was amazing, by the way. I watched it just a couple days ago. Look at that little backside shifty. Such a rad style.
Sickest style. He just flows so good.
Yeah, I was really curious that, wow, 5-0 to fakie up the extension into the deep end.
Nowhere.
I was really curious how Jack would skate just since he's been in video mode the last couple years.
It's like it's not affecting him. Shredding. It's going to be a complete run. Yeah. There's 45 seconds right there. So an all-terrain beast, Jack Fardell, ripping the park just like he rips the streets, and definitely a fan favorite. And I think a lot of the other skaters in this event were excited to see Jack Fardell show up.
Yeah, no kidding. We heard Miguel Oliveira in his translated interview mention he was excited that Fardell was at this contest.
He's just, again, like a Grant Taylor, one of those skater, and the run comes through, 75.30, so a solid start. And another favorite of the crew on hand from Vista, California, Rowan Zorilla.
Rowan's got such a loose style, man. It's so fun to watch. Nose grind popping over the hip. Ollieing up the extension into the front 50. Wow. Little half cab into the corner pump.
One of my favorite styles to watch. He's surfing this park right now.
Totally.
Wow. Putting together a run here.
Yeah, Rowan's another guy that I barely saw practice, just saw him kind of doing single hits here and there, and I had no idea what kind of line he was going to try and do. Look at that lip slide over the hip.
Yeah,
that is
Rowan.
so hard to re-enter like that. Finishing with a nose slide.
He's been spending most of his time barbecuing just on the street next to us.
Really?
He's become an expert at making boats, tin foil with vegetables in it. If you want to enjoy some good barbecue, follow around Rowan.
Awesome.
Dude is always fun to hang with.
Thanks for the tip.
Always positive. He's got a 74.07. Great to see him stay on.
Yeah, that was amazing.
His video parts obviously are crazy. You wouldn't think of him as a contest guy, but right there, proved me wrong. Here goes Ronnie Sandoval, San Pedro, California.
Yeah, man, I feel like Ronnie's Pedro experience will really help him in a park this size. Love that little nose grab back tail slide over the hip. Yeah, so good at San Pedro under the bridge there, and that's such a tricky place to skate. Transitions are a little bit tighter than the park here. Look at those loose trucks wobbling on the back disaster. Looked like he tried to get that into a front hurricane, just missed the truck.
There's certain guys when you watch skate, you just think, I want to skate like that. I want to skate like Ronnie Sandoval. That looks really fun to me.
Everyone does, but it's really, really hard to skate like that.
He's one of those guys that I asked him, let me stand on your board to see what it's like, and it's hard to even stand on.
I can't.
Just on flat.
Yeah.
It's that loose.
I stood on Chris Russell's board and fell down just standing on it.
So Ronnie Sandoval, 59.43. Not going to get him there yet, but as we know, when Ronnie starts to warm up, that's when you got to watch out. Here goes Ivan Frederico.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going for that kickflip melon over the hip right here. That is so gnarly. Wow. Just barely snuck it in under the coping without hanging up. You can tell he's already adding some difficulty from his run yesterday. Blunt slide down the escalator.
Don't call him an underdog.
I love that. Oh.
That's a make.
Yeah.
That's a make.
Feet stayed on. That was the same trick that Alex Sorgente kind of stepped off.
He's got to just finish. He's got to finish because he's got a crazy run right now. 9 seconds.
This is exactly how Yvonne qualified first in our prelim round. Looks like he's going to get one more trick, taking the foot off the backside air over the hip. Kick flip, backside air disaster. I hope the judges count that one because the hardest trick of his run was right there at time.
I need some gauze. My mind just got blown out of the back of my head. Yvonne Federico.
Had to go and fetch the hat that came off on the 540 rock and roll.
I'm going to get a pen, and I'm going to write his name down on my list of new favorite skateboarders.
86.84. That is first place by a mile right now.
The judges agree with that. They're putting him on their list of favorites. That is insane.
Over 5 points ahead of V. Caquinho, who we just saw down there with the sling pack on the separated shoulder. Tristan Rennie, Alex Sorgente, and Tom Shar still making up the top 5.
That was an ice-cold glass of water thrown in the face of the rest of the competition.
Wow, we have a new player on the scene with Yvonne.
Well, Kevin Kowalski, here's the reaction to that huge score, 40 seconds to go.
Kevin's been such a huge part of the Pacific Northwest concrete scene up there in Oregon. The Oregon guys really helped bring on this whole new breed of skate parks and concrete terrain all over the place, and all the skaters from up there have done a lot to inspire the style of skating that's so popular these days in parks around the world.
I think without Oregon skateboarding, we don't have this event.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
10 seconds left. So far, so good.
Little switch crooks.
I like that he's added tricks. He's added a little bit of speed. He's not gone overboard. He hasn't tried anything super crazy. That's definitely going to improve.
Yeah, dude.
He's just incrementally improving.
I think he is still nursing that ankle injury. Looking a little bit better, but the dude had a big boot on his ankle just a week ago. So I think Kevin's not quite at 100%, but killing it nonetheless.
So waiting for the score for Kevin Kowalski. Watch his video parts to see what he's capable of. 75.03. It's enough for 9th place, but again, just improving. So he's got 4 chances. And here goes Jack Fardell. He's got 45 seconds.
Every time he rolls
45 seconds.
Every time he rolls in, I just look forward to seeing that shifty ollie. Little Indy right there. Just little snapping little ollies both ways over that hip. Ollie to pivot.
A guy that didn't get a lot of practice time. You can see he's kind of just working things out, figuring out where to go in this park.
That 5-0 to fakie up the extension in the deep end is so tricky, man.
Psycho.
Oh, looked like he was setting up for the frontside flip over the hip.
He's working. There's mathematics going on in his head right now. He's working it out. The geometry, everything's coming together. I think his next run is going to be a keeper.
You see the wheels spinning.
Yeah, you could just tell he's kind of like figuring out the angles. If he gets that hip flip.
Once again, if you haven't seen his away days part, try and check out the Adidas video. Jack Fardell has, it's primarily street skateboarding video. Jack has an amazing part, some big gnarly rails, and some really cool rough tranny skating. Lots of DIY spots and kind of a lot of really unique skateboarding in Jack's away days part. So stoked to see the body of work he put together the last couple years.
Oh yeah, so Fardell scores a little bit lower. And if you want to know what Rowan's all about, watch Propeller. And what I think is arguably the best part in that movie. Here we go. He's got 40 seconds.
Wow, backside 50-50, ollieing in over that hip. Rowan already got a completely different line, completely different tricks than he had last run. 5-0 over the hip. Little double trucker carve.
Rowan just became a contest guy overnight.
I love
He's
it.
psyching right now.
Wow, front rock slide over the hip. What? Alley-oop nose grind.
So, Neil, you kind of just oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that looked like maybe a rolled ankle right there.
All right, so Rowan's now walking it off. Talk about the technicality involved with doing tricks over hips like that. Those grinds, the front board he did over that hip, that is so much harder than it looks.
And even his first run, he did a lip slide and came in on the hip, which is that's such a gnarly spot. It's so easy to hang up.
Yeah, take the flat wall, hang up, and multiply it by about 5. Ronnie Sandoval, 45 seconds on the clock. Let's see it, Ronnie.
Ronnie's been down here with Joe from Dickies filming some stuff down here for the Dickies team. Those guys have been filming some amazing stuff both at the Melbourne stop and the Floripa stop of the Park Series.
Ronnie's very soft-spoken. He's shredding with all the kids.
Look at that
There we go.
eggplant.
That's what we wanted.
It's so serious.
Ronnie's very soft-spoken. He's shredding with all the kids.
Look at that
There we go.
eggplant.
That's what we wanted.
It's so gnarly because that longshoreman. Wow, backside blunt and a back crail. Oh, that was so close to making a 45-second run. Shoreman. Wow, backside blunt and a back crail. Oh, that was so close to making a 45-second run.
But again, he has a bag of tricks that we know and love, and I think the judges do as well. So he did improve, 74.42.
Bumps into the top 10, but still going to need a few more points to come back and skate the finals later.
You think if he adds that frontside invert to that run, that's going to be up in the...
I think so.
Ivan Federico, what's he got? Your current leader, back in the bowl.
Current leader by a few points. Look at that. Looks like he's flipping his board again. Kickflip, lean melon. That was huge, and it washes out on the 50-50. He can't believe it. Made the hardest trick of the contest and then fell on a 50-50.
We're as surprised as you are, even.
And it washes out on the 50-50. He can't believe it. Made the hardest trick of the contest and then fell on a 50-50.
We're as surprised as you are, even. Kowalski, he's so far improved in his previous 2 runs. We'll see what he's got. Run number 3.
Looked like he was going for that backside boneless up the extension. Just had a little bit of bad aim on that one.
Yeah, again, it's best run counts. So you could fall 3 times in a row, put it together on your last run, and that's going to be the one that counts. Jack Fardell will be coming up next. He's from Australia. A bit of a mission to get here, but not too far. Here goes Jack Fardell.
Yeah, I think Jack's kind of based up in San Francisco these days. So, he still loves visiting the family down in Australia, and I love watching that shifty.
I watch that all day.
But yeah, Jack's been living up in San Francisco area for a couple years now. That is such a gnarly trick. I can't believe he makes that every one of his runs.
He's got it so automatic.
Oh, the backsmith just didn't lock in right there.
So for guys that aren't used to skating contests, what's the difference between, that cruising around your local park and then trying to contain as many tricks in 45
It's
seconds.
completely different, and for what he's been doing, he's been filming a video part for a couple of years, and that's where you focus on one trick for maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a month. There's some tricks that might take a month when you're filming a video part like he did. So just to go from that mindset to linking together 45 seconds, it's hard to switch your mind.
Completely different animal. Here goes Ronnie Sandoval. We'll see what Ronnie's got. Nice start.
So unfortunately, it looked like we skipped Rowan Zarilla, so it looks like that ankle injury might be taking Rowan out for the rest of the semifinals, unfortunately. Looked like we saw Rowan roll his ankle just at the end of that run. Ronnie looks so big in this little park, but he, you know, he's been known to kill some small stuff down in Pedro. Love that lean disaster.
So far, so good. 12 seconds to go. Where's that invert? 5 seconds.
Last trick right here. Oh, it looked like he was going for a kickflip Indy.
All right, well, that was his third opportunity. Just to prove it a little bit. We'll get an update on Rowan Zarilla for you. It's kind of a bummer if Rowan is unable to skate. It looked like he kind of got his contest hat going and
yeah,
he's
man,
really get consistent there.
And that it looked like he had a really weird fall just on that nose grind over the hip, and we saw he instantly kind of was grabbing that ankle.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it for Rowan. Rolled ankle, so he's out, unfortunately. One of my personal favorite skateboarders. I know a lot of fans out there are going to be bummed. But Rowan will be back. He's just going to go over to that medical tent and get checked out. He's not going to be able to continue on in the semis. But we will roll through. Ivan Federico, your current leader.
Yeah, let's see if he does that kickflip melon again. See if he's setting the front foot up. Oh, the kickflip melon gets away.
Save yourself. You already did the damage. No need to risk.
Hey, but right now is when you can take the risk. He's sitting in a safe position, so he's just going for, you know, he wants to figure some stuff out for the finals. He's going to be in the finals later today.
That's true. How do you, it's a gamble.
He's sitting in a safe position, so he's just going for, you know, he wants to figure some stuff out for the finals. He's going to be in the finals later today.
That's true. How do you, it's a gamble place.
Yeah, we know Kevin is capable of being in the finals. He needs to put one together, get up in the 80s to come back and skate with the top 8 later today. Just got added to the Rockstar Energy team. Rockstar's got a gang of guys down here this week.
Get it, get it.
Oh my gosh. Front 50 to Disaster to Smith.
Quick feet.
Little fakie 5-0 to fakie. Some mini ramp maneuvers in the shallow end.
4 seconds left, one more trick.
Little backside boneless at time with the 5 over the hip, and that is Kevin Kowalski.
That's a guy who's been in a few skateboard contests right there. He knew exactly what he needed to do. He needs a 75.31 or above to advance. I would put him above that.
Yeah, I think he'll be above a 75 with that run.
I'm not a judge,
I agree with
of
you.
course. That's a job way too tough and above my pay scale.
That's pressure too, man.
But we're right.
You were right.
76.51, that's 6th place, and that's a precarious 6th place.
Hey, look at that next heat. You got Hatchell, Grayson, Grant Taylor, Pedro, and Chris Russell. If you're in 6th right now.
All right, Jack Fardell. He's currently in 9th place. Got to ramp it up here.
Love that backside ollie.
It's a little higher every time.
Snapping frontside with speed. Oh gosh, that is so rad. 5-0 up the extension to fakie in the deep end.
This is where he's had trouble in the past. Can he keep it going?
Wow, back nose blunt.
10 seconds for Jack Fardell. So far, so good.
Yeah, this could be Jack's best run so far if he can hold on.
3 seconds. Stay on.
Front nose blunt slide coming off at time.
Yeah, was that before or after? Did they cut time mid-trick? Or how do they view that last trick?
That's the $1 million question right there.
All right, well, he needs a 75.49.
He went out swinging, though, man. That was a back nose blunt on the little corner, and then front nose blunt slide right at time.
And unlike some skate events, style does count.
For
Vans
sure.
Park Series.
Absolutely.
Ooh, it's enough, 75.95. But again, 7th place in a sketchy spot. You're hanging on by a thread.
That's good news, bad news.
Boulders coming down.
The good news is you're in the top 8. The bad news is you're in 7th with a bunch of banger dudes to come.
And Ronnie Sandoval's still going.
Wow. Stretched out backside boneless disaster. Hanging on the beefy frontside grab over the hip. I love that loose truck carve style. Huge boneless disaster. That was manly. I love just the beanie hanging in the pocket, Steve.
Oliveira, I don't know if, unless there's some kind of miraculous thing where 5 of the best park skaters coming up in the world make critical errors, it's going to be tough. We're going to take a quick break. You're not going to want to miss this next heat. Banger City. Stick around. This is Vans Pro Skate Park Series. We're back. Vans Pro Skate Park Series live from Florianopolis, Brazil. So far, so good. There's been some serious shredding already. Chris Cote here with Neil Hendricks. We're going to take a look at the replay. So far, each semifinal has just gotten better and better. And in that last heat, Ivan Federico, the Italian one from Torino, and came down from the mountains to destroy this.
And
park.
even just from seeing the runs that he fell on, he's got some more in the bag. He could bring the heat to the finals.
Well, the crowd, standing room only, and they are going to be here to stay all the way through into the finals. We're going to go down to Chris Pastris, who's on the deck with Ivan.
So I know you're from the hills of Italy. What's it like being here in Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil is really good. I like everything because a lot of sun, and yeah, it's good.
How's the skate scene differ from Italy?
Yeah, in Italy it's really bad. I don't have a ball, I don't have nothing, I skate alone. Here you can skate with Pedro, Caquinho, a lot of ball, yeah, it's really good.
First time in Brazil?
No, it's the second time. I come last year for the Red Bull generation, and it's really sick.
Nice, and speaking of Pedro, you've seen him practice. You're sitting in first right now in your heat. You got first in qualifying. How are you feeling about your chances going into finals?
I don't know, Pedro, it's amazing skater, you know, go big, fast. It's really good to see. I don't know, I hope in there, but yeah, fun.
And you had some amazing lines. What's the secret to finding a line in this bowl?
I don't know, you need to skating, to have fun. I don't know, yeah.
Just have fun, just rip ride. You got any tricks you're holding for finals? We gonna see anything we haven't seen?
I don't know, I need to...
Think about it.
Yeah.
Let's see that kickflip melon. Back to you guys in the booth.
Right on. Thanks, Pastris. Always fun to watch a guy like that who's humble. He comes from a place with barely any parks, no bowls, but now he's in the land of parks, so he's obviously flourishing. We're going to take a look at a recap of what just transpired. Heat 3, a little bit of everything. We saw some tech, we saw some gnar, a couple slams. So again, with every heat, just gets that much heavier.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've seen a couple guys go down and not be able to return also, like V. Kikino, and from that last heat was Rowan Zarilla. But there's Rowan right there.
Rowan got on a roll, too. That's such a bummer.
Yeah, Ronnie Sandoval, back D revert with the wobbly loose truck style. Love that, slapping the hand on coping re-entry. This is Yvonne, top qualifier. Kickflip melon just barely squeaking in over the coping, and there was the kickflip melon disaster right at time. That was his best run.
The dude turns into an animal.
He does, man. There's the tricky use of the hip, and Ronnie Sandoval up into the eggplant. That was stalled even without the video freezing.
That was enough for the win for me.
Yeah.
That was the people's champion right there. Always cool to see Jack Fardell.
Look at this back
sickest style.
nose blunt right there. That is so hard to do in your contest run. Stretched out backside boneless by Kowalski.
Who's got the best backside boneless in the history of skateboarding?
Oh man, in the history of skateboarding.
We might have to call Grasso for that, but
yeah, Jeff Phillips had a really good one back in the day. Basically, back in the day, if you were from Texas, you had a good backside boneless. Troy Chasen. I'm going with Troy Chasen.
All right. Google it, folks. Kids, if you're watching, learn your skate history. So we've got, again, behind the scenes, all around this event is going off. Take a look at this Snapchat recap of what's been happening.
Americanos, só porque o cara quebrou tudo ali e quase quebrou também o ombro, né? Oliveira em oitavo, Colin Graham em nono. Broadside final. Oh, big broadside goal. What the?
And we're back. Hopefully you are all, at this point, following Vans Park Series on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. A lot of ways to get involved. And that cheer you're hearing is for Pedro Barras. Whenever he drops in, comes
59
alive.
degrees. Did you think that we'd be coming to an exotic Brazilian island and it would be 59 degrees Fahrenheit?
I was hoping for suns out, buns out, but what we did get is suns out and perfect skate weather. This is exactly what you want to skate in. It's sunny, but it's still chill enough to keep you cool as you roll around. And semifinals, heat number 4, one for the ages. Ben Hatchell, Grayson Fletcher, Grant Taylor, Pedro Barras, and Chris Russell. Super heat, folks.
Yeah.
Hit record, do whatever you can do to just hold this heat in your memory. It's
I'm
about
telling
to get
you,
radical.
watch Pedro's run and the line and how he uses all the perimeter transitions. That's how you keep speed in this park.
All right, 26 years old. Probably the most tech of all our PS Select pros. This guy can pretty much do anything with coping and a skateboard. Ben Hatchell.
Finished top 5 in Melbourne, ended up in 5th place. We thought for a while that he might take the win. You can tell he's coming out swinging. Oh, looked like he just hit his truck already off his run. He pushed. Do you get disqualified for pushing in a Park Series contest?
Judges don't love a push. But it looks like he's right back at it, trying to erase the memory of that ill-fated push. And Ben Hatchell, This is a guy that can throw some crazy combinations.
I love that he's got a smile on his face. Oh, the lip slide gone wrong. I heard a few of these guys say that the coping, they sprayed the coping this morning. They said it was way slipperier than it's been the last couple days. So I heard some of the guys mention that in practice this morning.
So if you want to win the World Championship, not only do you have to adapt to 5 different parks, but even within those parks, you have to adapt to different conditions because they're going to change from day to day, weather, coping, and everything's going to change on every given day.
A lot of times they'll spray the coping down so it doesn't get chunked up on the seams.
If somebody's going to chunk up the coping, it's this guy, Grayson Fletcher. He's in 40 seconds.
We were joking around earlier. We saw Grayson watching some of the practice this morning. He didn't even take a run until right before the contest. We were like, Grayson, jump in there. And he was like, nah, it's too early.
All right, so Grayson's got three more options, a little warm-up run. And folks, if these are 5 of your favorite skateboarders, like they are for myself and Neil, don't worry. We're taking the top 8 of the entire field. So there is a potential for all 5 of these guys to make the finals. And here we go, our first look on the Vans Park Series of the one and only Grant Taylor.
I've been looking forward to this for months, man. Look at that, just like floating over the hip, manual to 5-0. It is just so fun to watch. Ollie truck bash over the hip, totally different, unique lines than anyone. Huge frontside air disaster. Grant's put out some of the most amazing park skating video parks ever, and the back tail gone wrong with 20 seconds to go, but he's one of those guys that gets the thanks for showing up award.
There's a reason why he's won and been on that list for Thrasher Magazine Skater of the Year for the past 10 years. The dude is pretty much everybody's favorite skateboarder.
He's got a brand new part in the Volcom video. I've not seen the Volcom video yet, unfortunately. Looking forward to seeing Grant's part. I guess he shares the last part with Colin Provost. But Grant just put out, I saw another Thrasher part that was just 10 minutes of throwaway footage.
I couldn't hear you. The crowd just went nuts. And that's because Pedro Barros has entered the building and the park. 45 seconds.
Oh my gosh, his back foot was all over the place. How did he hang on to that frontside air?
Bon dia, Pedro Barros.
It's funny because do you remember in Melbourne he did a similar frontside air with his back foot? I love it. He can just squat out of anything.
Man, you can really just let the crowd do the talking right now. They're going nuts for Pedro Barros.
Only guy that can get away with skating the contest with a camo vest. Oh my gosh, his feet were all over the place again. Switch, tail slide, revert.
Right there, that shows you the kind of skateboarder he is. He tried to hang on to that thing for dear life. Hey, that was a good start. That was a great start for Pedro Barros. How's this heat? Are you kidding me right now?
That was amazing.
Look behind him. He lives on the other side of that hill.
Yep.
So this is literally his backyard.
High fives from the homies, and 81.63, so that shows that even with a fall, if you pack enough tricks and enough blasting in the first 40 seconds of your run, you can afford a fall at the end and still advance. So Pedro straight to second.
Our current Vans Park Series leader, winner at Melbourne, Chris Russell, has entered the park.
Oh, goes down on the big boneless disaster. Chris Russell has taken a couple of monster slams in practice. I actually didn't see them the last couple days, but I heard a couple people say that Chris Russell's had a rough go of it down here with a couple big falls.
Well, there's 2 ways to react from a slam like that. It can wake you up and pop you right into that mode.
Down here with a couple big falls.
Well, there's 2 ways to react from a slam like that. It can wake you up and pop you right into that mode, or it can take you out. Super semi-final number 4. We're going to get back to the top of the lineup. Ben Hatchell will be rolling back in. So you got to like Pedro Barros' warm-up run.
Yeah, no
Had
kidding.
he pulled that last trick, we could have been looking at even a little bit different of a
that
score.
That last trick was not just any trick. He was trying to switch front tail slide revert, which is really gnarly.
Mellow, right?
Yeah. It's cool to see you know, someone like Pedro that's kind of known for just blasting and flying around to add a really tech switch trick at the end.
Well, he'll get tech. So here we go. Ivan Federico, the Italian one, still hanging on to that lead. Pedro Barros jumps into second. Vinicius Cacchino in third. Tristan Rennie in fourth. And here's where you got to look out for Alex Sorgente, Tom Shar, and Kevin Kowalski.
Do you know what I remember us talking about a couple months ago in Melbourne? Tom Shar being the bubble boy down there.
Again.
Looks like he might be bubble boy again, currently in 6th place with a stacked last heat.
Seems to be able to turn it on if and when he makes the finals. We'll see. Here goes Ben Hatchell, 45-second run.
Ben Hatchell taking a different approach to run number 2. Starting. Oh, bummer. Ollie up to board slide.
I love his wind-up because you never know what trick he's going to pull out of that giant Santa Claus-sized bag of tricks.
He has so many tricks.
He's got 1,000, at least 1,000.
But I do feel the way that he skates, we mentioned it earlier, there's no real like back-to-back flat wall in this park. Everything's kind of escalating, extensions, corners. He's not really able to bring his tech magic to this park.
Here goes Grayson Fletcher trying to rebound after a false start in his first run.
That was his warm-up, just his last run. That's all he needs. Grayson's such a unique floaty style, always jamming the front foot off on those 1-foot ollies.
Wow. I love just the subtle tail hit on every big ollie.
Oh my gosh.
Make it.
You think the judges score down for a push? How about the triple Mongo?
Triple Mongo actually is reverse because they love those.
I love the triple Mongo.
You know that
if our colleagues in the truck could please capture that for replay, I would love to see a slow-mo of the triple Mongo.
Well, you know Grayson's family's watching. Christian, Nathan, Dibby, Herbie, and the Fletcher family.
Grayson spent a ton of time down here in Florianopolis. I know last year he stayed down here with Pedro for about a month, so he loves it down here.
Speaking of love, we love this dude, Grant Taylor.
I love this dude. I just want to watch him skateboard all day. Doing it for the ATL. Look at that frontside air disaster. That might be the biggest disaster that we have seen. Washing out on the 50-50, saving it right there.
He makes rolling in look amazing.
Oh, looked like he was going for a little nose bonker into the deep end. Oh, frontside flip did not flip for Grant Taylor.
Adding a little bit of tech.
Yeah, checking to see if the board snapped on that frontside air disaster, I think.
I'm surprised the park didn't snap.
Yeah. That was amazing. Little knuckles from Hatchell. You hear the crowd, you know what that means.
Oh, something cool is about to happen. Pedro Barros, 45 seconds on the clock. He had a near perfect run. We'll see if he can improve. Here we go, the Pedro Barros show.
Stiley Smith in the deep end, Indy disaster.
What is redirectional
I know.
power turns?
I was just going to say that frontside to frontside line is something that no one else has done. He just has a different way of being able to keep his speed. Oh, the backsmith hung up. He's laughing at it. Shove it to nose. Comes off.
You got to give him, of course, home turf advantage, but to reiterate, this is a new park. The base of this park is 6 months old, and we just added the bowl corners 6 days ago. So he's figuring it out as well.
Yeah, adding those bowl corners completely changes the way that you skate this park. It just redirects you different, and you're able to keep your speed different. So this is basically a new park 6 days ago.
All right, we'll see how Chris Russell reacts to that first slam. Here he goes, 45 seconds.
Yeah, Chris Russell needs this run. He's currently leading the points chase for the Vans Park Series after winning the Melbourne stop. So he is going to need to make this top 8 final. Frontside tail grab, nose bonk.
He wanted it.
That would have been a
angry.
gnarly combination right there to do a hard trick like that. Frontside tail grab nose bonk into the deep end, straight into a whippy front board on the other opposing wall.
You got to put Chris Russell up there with Pedro and just a small handful of guys who are having an amazing competitive year.
Yeah.
Chris Russell basically just started becoming a dominant presence in skate contests.
Yeah, he was the underdog for a while, and now he's kind of embraced that, and now he's one of the favorites, and that, especially after winning the first Park Series stop.
Ben Hatchell is in.
Wow, front blunt slide.
Did we put too much pressure on this super semi?
Yeah.
You look at the names, 5 of the greatest
Yeah,
skaters in the world.
Pedro's bumped his way into the top 8, but even Pedro had a fall. It's cool because it really shows off the new guys, the young guys coming up.
You can't rest on past performances. Here goes Grayson Fletcher. Get ready. Skating a Slayer.
Wow, huge frontside grab. Little butt crack, never hurt nobody. Oh my gosh, that was the most massive frontside flip ever.
Was that a bit of a Hail Mary right there for Grayson?
I think it was.
He's got one more opportunity.
I mean, every time he drops in, it's a bit of a Hail Mary. He just goes for it.
All right, next skater coming in. Thrasher Magazine.
Every time he drops in, it's a bit of a Hail Mary. He just goes for it.
All right, next skater coming in. Thrasher Magazine.
Every time he drops in, completely different lines. Did you see that ollie to pivot? That was insane. Oh, that was the frontside air disaster from last run. We saw him looking at his board, not sure if he...
He even looks cool walking around with his skateboard.
Yeah, he
There's
looks
not many
cool,
people
period.
in the world that can do that. Get ready for some crowd noise. Pedro Barros currently sitting in second place. He does not like to be in second place. There's only one place Pedro likes to be. We'll see if he can get there right here.
There's a huge strategic advantage to going last in the finals because you know what you have to do. You don't want to leave your final standing in someone else's hands.
What the hell? Was that an accident?
I have no idea. I think he was trying to go up on the extension and ollie back into the bowl instead of like deck checking, but he might have just been eyeing that up for the finals.
He has the ability to make accidents amazing.
Oh my gosh, backside ollie. Caught that little coping edge on the way down. He's having a laugh. He's sitting firmly in second place, going to advance to the finals.
Now, if you're talking strengths and weaknesses of a guy like Pedro Barros, who really, the only weakness I would say is the over-psyching. And right there, that's just a glimpse of it. He can get it in control, but sometimes he gets a little too fired up.
Yeah, just watch Bondi Bolorama from earlier this year.
Chris Russell, he's got to come back here. This is one of his last opportunities. And that's how you come back.
Good start for Chris Russell. We mentioned it. He's taken a couple monster slams. 1 foot eggplant in the deep end. Wow, looked like he washed out on the manual over the hip and saved it.
This train's rolling. Keep it going, Russell.
I love he's got the front tail slide revert. He is so mad.
It's like he doesn't understand because these are all go-to tricks. But
hey,
even that half run right there, that could have been enough. That was crazy.
I don't think it's going to be enough to get into the top 8, though. That was really, really good. But when you look at guys that are kind of on the border, the guys like Shar and Sorgente and
one more chance. Yeah. He's got one more chance.
And
if he can finish that run,
that'd be a huge upset for him not to be in the finals after winning the Melbourne stop.
And Hatchell's in.
Kickflip stalefish. We talked about that bag of tricks. Every run, Hatchell has stuff that we've not seen in previous runs. Look like front hurricane on the down escalator.
This is where we see contest past contest history come into play with that pressure.
Frontside air revert. Wow. Oh, he jumped off. Half cab into front blunt. And that is going to be a crucial fall right there for Ben Hatchell.
I was looking at these 5 names and thinking, okay, well, here's the rest of our finalists.
Yeah, for sure.
But, man, these guys are having some trouble in this last semifinal heat of the morning.
If this doesn't show how difficult this park is to do a 45-second contest run, these are some of the best in the world. I would have guaranteed Ben Hatchell was going to be in the 8-man final.
I think everybody would have, but to see him in 14th place, it's kind of unprecedented. Nowhere near the leaderboard. Jack Fardell, right now, he's safe. One more chance.
Kevin Kowalski, Tom Schaar, Alex Sorgente looking better and better by the minute.
Here's the opportunity, last chance for Grayson Fletcher. Come on, Grayson, put it together.
Grayson has to make this run if he wants to be in the final. And we've seen that anything can happen. Huge tail to tail. From this run, from this heat, only Pedro is in the top 8, and he didn't even make his run. Wow, that was the biggest back disaster we've seen all day.
Stay on, stay on.
Oh my gosh, getting a little wild, hitting the extension right there, and the front blunt gets away from him, and he punches the vert right there in the deep end. Oh, that was so close.
Every time Grayson drops in, it's like heart palpitations.
Hey, kickflip to flat.
That was the start of something really special for Grayson Fletcher. A 60.25, 17th place, missing out. A shocker. That's what you call having a shocker. Grant Taylor, last chance.
Last chance for Grant Taylor. We would love to see Grant in this 8-man final, but he blows out the backside air. This last heat is just over-amping. These guys are falling on stuff you never see them fall on.
Wow. Another shocking turn of events. Grant Taylor goes down on his first trick, and that's going to set up Pedro Barros.
So Pedro's now guaranteed to be in the finals. He's still in second place, even with that fall. He's flinching at Grant, taking a slam in practice.
So knowing Pedro, this isn't going to be sent in, right? This is going to be full bore.
You know, I think he's probably just going to practice something for the finals. You know, I think he's probably had a few things in his mind that he wants to do. I bet he's eyeing something up right now that he's going to try just to see if it works for the finals. Even whether it's a line or a trick or a transfer. He might be working on that line. Switch lip slide. We haven't seen him do this all day. He's just practicing for the finals right now.
That's a luxury that you have when you're sitting in second place.
Yep. Alley-oop, lip slide. I love the redirection over the pump bump. Yeah, switch back D. Yeah, Pedro's been working on the switch game, it looks like.
Wow, so 5 of the world's greatest living park skaters in a row, and only one of them battles through into the finals. Pedro Barros, no surprise there. He's going to be most likely sitting in second place. The big surprise, Ivan Federico, taking that top spot going into the finals.
But we've got one more. The pressure is on Chris Russell, the winner of the Melbourne Park Series stop. Currently way outside of the top 8. He's going to have to nail a run. Fardell is on the bubble, and it's either going to be Jack Fardell or Chris Russell in the finals.
Last chance for Chris Russell.
He looks confident.
He's got to stay on. He's got to stay on for 45 seconds.
Wow.
So far, so good. Man, I'm stressing right now.
I am sweating. I'm so nervous for him. Look at that. Huge ollie disaster. He's off his board. Chris Russell is not going to be in the top 8 here in Florianopolis. Jack Fardell, Kowalski, Tom Schaar, you can all take a breath.
I feel like
huge shocker.
I feel like I just been kicked in the nuts right there. I wanted all those guys in the finals, but hey, this is a new competition now. The underdogs came out swinging.
In this huge stacked last heat, nobody made a 45-second run. Nobody. That was a huge surprise.
Well, it wasn't for lack of trying. I mean, we saw some pretty brutal slams in that last semi. And some guys that are known for consistency, not quite pulling it together. So there's your semifinals results. Ivan Federico from Italy taking that top spot. Pedro Barras, Vinicius Cacchino, who's injured. We're going to have to keep our eye on him. Tristan Rennie, Alex Sorgente, Tom Schar, Kevin Kowalski, and Jack Fardell. Any big surprises for you there, Neil?
A ton of huge surprises.
All of them.
I'm surprised that Corey Janot, Ben Hatchell, Grayson, Chris Russell, Grant Taylor, a huge, all of those are huge shockers to me.
On paper, I would have flipped I would have flipped those two graphics.
No kidding. But I think the judges did a great job, and a lot of those guys from Heat 1 and 2 that we didn't, I was wrong about some of the score predictions. Those guys held on.
All right, well, speaking of holding on, you guys stick around. The finals is coming up live from Floripa. This is the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. It is shock and awe here at the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. A super stacked semifinal number 4, and only one man escaped. And it is Pedro Barros, who is with Chris Pastris.
Pedro, I see some of the pros are struggling with speed in this bowl. Not yourself. What's the secret to a good line in this bowl?
There's really no secret, you just skateboard and you just follow the line, follow the flow, and just try to keep yourself together with the walls, because that's what's going to give you speed. So that's pretty much just what I've been doing.
Yeah, it seems like you stick to the walls. You're grinding and 5-0 grinding. There's no dead spots in your line. So is that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, just, have a good time, skate, and try to be satisfied, have fun with myself. I think that's the biggest plan.
Definitely. Looks like you're having fun. And Ivan is sitting in first place by a few points. Are you going to make any adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, can I say it Portuguese, English? Com certeza. Agora, na verdade, é até difícil com essa galera toda aqui. Estando em casa, acaba que você tem que segurar as emoções e não dar o teu máximo nessa hora, porque ainda tem a final pela frente. Então, é um campeonato e a gente tem que jogar com as regras e tentar estar ali na final. Mas agora, com certeza, na final vai ser 100% de explosão e a gente vai dar o melhor aí para poder representar o Brasil.
Yes. Can you translate for us, Pedro?
I just said it's hard when you're in the semifinals because there's a lot of people here, a lot of good friends, and they're cheering on, and it's like you want to just explode and do your best, but I still got to be in the finals, so I try to hold it together, and luckily I made that first run. But in the finals, there's not going to be any holding back. It's just going to be full speed attack.
Amen on that. On that note, I'm going to let you warm up. Get ready for finals. Good luck, Pedro. We want to see you put it all together. Good luck, brother. Back to you guys.
Wow. So no holding back. And I think he just gets, obviously his skating's there. Now he's getting the competitive mindset just better and better with each event. I'm scared for the park. I'm scared for the rest of the 8 finalists. Pedro Barros
I can't wait to
he's
watch,
on a mission
man.
right now. Let's take a look at the recap of what we just saw. This is kind of the heat that has shocked us all.
We definitely saw some highlights. I mean, Ben Hatchell right here, these guys did a lot of tricks. Unfortunately, Ben was not able to hold it together for a full 45-second run. Look at this, Pedro, super solid Smith grind, and the big back.
That was so
Backside
scary.
ollie D with the feet flying off. Love the Grayson light-footed tail slapping style. Oh, this is my favorite part of the heat right here. Boing, boing, boing.
Yep.
Triple Mongo style across
He's
the
a
flat.
showman.
Look at this. Wow, that was head-high frontside air disaster.
So we had some best trick candidates in that heat for sure, but this is the name of the game is consistency, making your runs, 45 seconds, utilizing all that time.
Yeah, there were a couple things that Chris Russell fell on that I was just shocked, man. He's used to. He's pulled so many rabbits out of his hat over the years that we just expect him to pull it off somehow.
Yeah, and Ben Hatchell as well. It's rare to see him fall, but to see him fall 4 times in a row, again, it's a testament to being able to adapt to different parks. This is a unique park in itself, and the fact that it's brand new, not a lot of practice went into it.
I think that's one of the best things about the Vans Park Series is it's really going to show how these guys can adapt to different parks, different styles around the world.
All right, so let's take one final look at the results as we move on into the finals. Like I said, I hope your seatbelts are fastened because we are flying through this final day. Ivan Federico, gotta be the most surprising name, but you've seen the dude kill it in big bowl contests, street contests. Now you're seeing him in this park format.
Yeah, and he's got so much better just in the last couple years. We've seen him for years at a lot of the smaller park contests over in Europe. We've seen him down at Bondi Bolorama. He's come over to the Vans pool party, but this is the best I've ever seen him skate in a park series, and he's still young. Like he said, he's from Italy, up in the hills where they don't have a ton of parks like this, so even just him being here, he's getting a ton of experience.
And I think like Pedro right now, he's still got some extra left in the tank.
He does.
So the semifinals, again, flew by. Some shocking moments and some crazy moments, some really good single tricks, but it was all about the guys who stayed on for the entire time. And you're going to see some of those single tricks we're talking about here that were almost
how about
enough.
Young Miguel Oliveira that we just saw a minute ago ended up barely missing the finals, ended up in 9th place. Ronnie Sandoval standing up on a big manly eggplant. There's the kickflip lean melon from Ivan Federico that hopefully we'll see more of in the finals. And Kevin Kowalski's snuck in there also. Really, like you said, experienced contest skater, and I think he was looking at the scoreboard and just upped his run every run just with a few more tricks and was able to squeak in there.
Yeah, like I think Fardell and Kowalski were kind of the squeakers in this one, just doing enough to just scrape into the finals. And
I could watch that all day.
let's just keep replaying that for a while. And Rowan Zarilla was looking like he was putting things together, but he rolled his ankle and he wasn't able to finish that semi.
Yeah, a couple guys went down and weren't able to finish their heat. V. Kikino looked like he separated his shoulder, but from the interview he did with Pastris, looks like he's going to try and skate his run in the finals. So hopefully that works out for V.
He would have to have 2 broken arms and a broken leg to not skate in this final. This is a huge opportunity for V.
We saw a kid, a local kid yesterday in the prelim round break his collarbone in his first run and came back and took every one of his runs.
Took 4 more runs.
Yeah, and we did get the word after he went to the hospital, yep, his collarbone was broken. Unfortunately, that kid did not advance to the semifinals today, but that just shows the hunger and the fire of these young Brazilian skaters.
But you see it in the surf world as well. There's a lot of passion with Brazilian athletes in general. And now I'm seeing that in the park. These dudes are breaking themselves off, and they're shaking off whatever injuries they have, and they're going.
And, you know, this is a huge opportunity for a lot of these locals. Some of the guys have been traveling and been on the international skate scene for a while, like Pedro. Even V has been traveling around for a bit. But some of the guys, it's just a huge opportunity for them to make their name on the global skateboarding world.
All right, well, we're just getting the news right now. This is such a bummer for V, but this makes way for another underdog. Miguel Oliveira will replace V. Coquino, who just is not cleared to skate. That injury probably more than we suspected or that he suspected. it's too much. We're not going to risk a dude's career
Yeah.
for one event, although you know he wants to skate, and it must be bad if he is getting replaced. But again, that opens the door. Miguel Oliveira, he was right there on the edge, and he was in that first heat. So again, the judges were just getting warmed up as well. So it's right there. I mean, that's the line that we draw, but happy to see him in, bummed to see V out.
Yeah.
Bittersweet.
So it looks like we've got 3 of our Park Series select skaters, Jack Fardell, Kevin Kowalski, and Pedro Barros, and then 5 of the challengers from yesterday that have qualified for the finals.
And before we get into the finals, we're going to take a look once again. Thrasher Magazine presents Firing Line with Pedro Barros. Welcome back. You know, Neil, one of my favorite things on the internet is made by a guy named Patrick O'Dell. It's called High Shreddability. And now Patrick is at the helm of the Vans Park Series Snapchat, and he's killing it, getting a bunch of behind-the-scenes action. So take a look at Snapchat Live.
No, I wish. I saw.
Americana, só porque o cara quebrou tudo ali e quase quebrou também o ombro, né? Oliveira em oitavo, Colin Graham em nono. Frontside final. Oh, big frontside goal.
Welcome back as we roll on towards the finals. This is, of course, stop number 2 on the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. There's a lot of excitement going down here. Chris Cote here with Neil Hendricks. We're on a world tour.
We're working our way to Malmo.
That's right. So this being stop number 2, the challengers are going to be going to battle. We started in Melbourne, Australia with winner Chris Russell.
Look at those aviators, man.
He just got blown out, so now the field's wide open. We're now in Florianopolis, Brazil. From here, we're going up to Vancouver.
Taking it up to Hastings, where we've been the last couple of years with the Van Doren Invitational, then going down the coast to Huntington Beach.
That's right, of course, the Vans US Open of Surfing, the biggest event of the summer in California, July 30th, brand new park built right on the beach there at the pier, and that all leads to our World Championship in Malmo, Sweden. That park's looking amazing.
Yeah, only the top 20 skaters, the 15 Park Series Select Pros, plus the top 5 challengers. They take 3 of your 4 event results to get the top 5. It's going to be a stacked field in Malmo.
Well, speaking of that stacked field, let's figure out how we get there. How do we pick our winner today? So in this finals, we've got 8 skaters. And here's a look at the format. It's still going to be 1 run. Best run counts. These guys get 4 opportunities to roll around the park.
45-second runs, but only your best run counts.
The one difference, too, is that first wall rebate.
Yep, which that could come in handy. First wall rebate is if you fall on your very first trick, we will let you start over. 45-second runs and only your best run counts. You can blow it 3 times, but as long as you make 1, you're in the money.
Judging formula, same as it ever was.
Yeah, we got our boys from the border over here, and difficulty of tricks, style, speed, consistency, use of park. 0 to 100, your best run counts. We got You know, I think one of the best guys at skating parks like this, Kyle Berard, is one of our judges today. We got Jason Rothmeyer, who's been judging some of the top contests in the world forever, and we got a Brazilian local down here, Leo Caquinho, who builds a lot of the best parks. Really good top pro skater from down here from years ago. 3 super solid judges up on the deck.
All right, it's time to get fired up, skate fans. We're going to start our finals with a guy that just came in as a last-second replacement, Miguel Oliveira. Crowd is fired up. He's got 45 seconds. Take it away, Neil.
From Curitiba, Brazil. They got an amazing skate scene over in Curitiba and some brand new concrete. Miguel looking a little loose at the beginning. He's got those contest jello legs. But he totally surprised us yesterday in the prelim round, qualified for today. Look at that, back-to-back, frontside invert to eggplant in the deep end. Little scoopy backside ollie to tail over the hip, and the front blunt gets away from him. Good start, though, for the new guy, Miguel Oliveira.
And this is where we're going to see these guys leaving it all out there. Not that anyone was holding back in the semis, but this is your time to shine, especially for Miguel Oliveira, who just came through as a last-second replacement for an injured
Look how stoked he
Vika
is, man.
Kino.
5 minutes ago, he didn't think he was in the finals. He got 9th, but unfortunately, Vika Kino made the finals with a separated shoulder, wasn't able to answer the bell, and surprise, Miguel, you're in the finals.
Yeah, and so far the scores to beat have been in that mid-80 range, so the 86 from the previous semis. And here we go, second finalist in Jack Fardell.
Jack Fardell's been in video part mode the last couple years, just had an amazing part in the Adidas Away Days video. I just watched it for the first time a couple days ago and was blown away just at his ATV skating. I was always a Jack Fardell fan, but after seeing that part, it was one of the best parts I've seen in a while. Hey, that was Jake Phelps on the deck.
I was hyped to see Jack Fardell's name as one of our PS Pro Select skaters. He is truly a
It's pretty ironic,
skater.
though, that the one event that he missed was the Australia event.
Next door to his house.
Yeah, he was right on filming deadline, trying to finish that Away Days part, so wasn't able to make the Melbourne stop, but he was claiming he's going to try and make the rest of them, so hopefully we'll see him in Vancouver and Huntington Beach.
It's like being out of town when your buddies are having a big party.
Yeah.
Kevin Kowalski, Portland, Oregon, 45 seconds on the clock. First go in the finals for Kowalski.
Yeah, we mentioned that Kowalski. Look at that finger flip lean disaster. Kowalski's got a bit of an ankle injury, so he's been maybe not 100% the last couple days, but nothing to lose. You're in the finals now. You can already tell just from that first trick that he's kind of stepping it up from the semis. Love that slaw plant off the extension.
Not wasting any wall either. Straight into 2 tricks.
Now see if he can keep his speed back up just with 10 seconds to go. See if he's got one more trip down to the deep end.
5 seconds left.
Oh, looked like he popped out to flat with the 5-0 over the hip and alley-oop lean right there. Super solid run for Kowalski.
Kevin Kowalski. So I like that he saved a little bit from the semis. You know, he was kind of snuck in quietly.
He did.
But he opened up right there.
Yeah, finger flip lean disaster is not cruising at all.
Riley Borland, you see him? He's one of our challengers. He's psyched on that last run.
You know, I think he's already warming up for best trick.
Yeah, 72.49. So your current leader, Kevin Kowalski.
Tom Schar's another guy that I didn't know if he'd squeak in after his semi-performance.
Tom Schar is in with 43 seconds to go.
Huge frontside stalefish, backside air disaster, backsmith, quick back-to-back-to-back in the deep end.
Looks like he got his jitters out in the semis.
Love that speedy tail slide. Wow, nose grind over the hip. That's a new one we didn't see in the semis. Big backside ollie disaster. This is the best run we've seen Tom Schar take all day.
Doesn't matter what you did in the semis.
Front Smith stands it up into a 5-0. Big backside ollie. Tom's really good at boosting that hip.
5 seconds. One more trick.
Wow, big frontside air. I was curious if he was going for the kickflip stalefish right there.
45 seconds. of thrashing.
That was a really good run. Hold on, Tom. Yeah, we saw in one of his semifinal runs, he did a kickflip stalefish and landed and kind of washed out right at time. Wondered now if he's got a, now that he's got a solid run in the bag, if he'll bring that one out.
And as far as challengers go, it's Corey Juneau and Tom Shar in 4th and 6th place. And with a huge score, putting himself right on top of the leaderboard, it's Tom Shar with an 80.03.
Yeah, that's the best score he's got all day, even or all week, including the prelims yesterday.
Alex Sorgente sitting on 8th place right now on the challenger list.
Does that count as a first wall rebate?
Yes, but the time still goes. So now he's only got 35 seconds.
I love Alex has got a kind of different approach to this one. Different runs each time. Nose manual drop in, huge backside air disaster.
He's not scared to land.
That backside ollie was so over the deck right there. Oh my gosh.
Still going. That's a make. You can push. The judges don't really love it.
No. Wow. Yeah, that is a cool way to do a nose blunt. Really snapping into it.
He kind of dug out of a hole right there.
He did.
I can appreciate that.
Cab blunt taking a slam to finish it off. He's okay.
Well, Alex Sorgente utilizing that first wall rebate, trying to come in nose manual, which is hard enough in itself, but to start your run with that, scary stuff. Alex Sorgente.
Yeah, because he's nolling into the transition, and that tranny is so tight that you know you're going to land really low.
Bummer for him, too. That fall was after time, so it was really something he didn't need to be pushing for. But it's enough to get him in 3rd place, 70.97. Sorgente sitting at 8th place right now on the Park Series Tour. So that would be a solid finish for him regardless. But here goes Tristan Rennie, our first look at Tristan in the finals.
Tristan has been killing it down here all week, doing it for the Badlands. Shout out to all those guys that are tuning in back home, the taco dudes, cheering Tristan on. Big backside disaster. An alley-oop goes, falls off. An alley-oop goes, falls off on the alley-oop over the hip.
An alley-oop gone awry for Tristan Rennie. That was his first go. He's got 3 more chances. Some showtime.
It's going to heat up right now.
So a 58.08. It's enough to be in 4th place, but all those scores under 80 are pretty much going to be wiped off the planet. And it's most likely going to start right here. Pedro Barros.
Only 21 years old, and he's been winning top pro contests for about 7 or 8 years now.
Pedro Barros getting fired up. Here we go. This is where you're going to see Barros unleashed. 45 seconds on the clock. Pedro Barros from right up the street in Florianopolis. Let's see it, Pedro.
Just over the hill is Pedro's compound. Look at that frontside air. It looked like he was going to hang. It's first wall rebate.
Wow.
Look at that.
The crowd went silent right there, but the clock still goes.
And that's what we were talking about. Sometimes Pedro just overamps. We saw him do it at a few contests last year. We saw him do it at the Bondi contest earlier this year. He just overamps and isn't able to hang on to those huge airs.
Wow. Nobody carves like Pedro Barros. Where he's getting and how he's getting there, it looks impossible. And we've already seen some shocking things happen in the semis. I'm a little bit shocked right there. Pedro Barros, you can tell he's not super psyched on that opening run. He's got 3 more chances.
It is so hard to carve bold corners like that switch, and he just is able to do it and keep his speed.
He's the only guy that can carve in the flat.
Yeah.
He's doing a bottom turn like he's on a wave. So Pedro Barros, his first run comes through 69.21. It's a throwaway score for Pedro. But here we go from Turin, Italy, your #1 qualifier, Ivan Federico.
Yeah, he was our surprise #1 qualifier from prelims yesterday, and then a surprise #1 out of the semis, and that's why kickflip melon out of the deep end over that hip. Who would have thought that this unknown skater from Italy was going to be a threat to the throne of Pedro in his hometown?
Wow.
That was so smooth. We call that one the natural disaster. That's when you grab the nose on the 540 rock and roll.
Still going. He's got 10 seconds to go. So far, flawless run for Ivan.
Is he going to try that kickflip lean melon to end his run? Frontside air. That was a really amazing run.
Save it. No need to risk anything on the end. A perfect run for Ivan Federico from Turin, Italy. Are you kidding? Where did this guy come from?
That was amazing. Right now we've got Tom Shar at the top with an 80.30. I think he's going to have some company in the 80s.
And I love that the tricks that Ivan are doing, they look, you would think they were Hail Mary tricks, but he's been doing them every single time.
Yeah, the kickflip melon out of the deep end, every time he does that, it looks like he's going to hang up. 83.09 in first place by 3 points over Tom Shar, Kevin Kowalski, Alex Sorgente, and Pedro making up the top 5.
There's a look right now at your top 5. So an unprecedented start to this final. These 8 skaters right now, everyone's had a chance to shake off those finals jitters, and here we go, second run for Miguel Oliveira.
I love it. Every time he drops in, he's just smiling. He's stoked just to be here. Looks a little bit more solid to start off his second run right now. You know, he's from Curitiba, and I just saw some photos and videos of a brand new big vert. Oh, the eggplant hang up. They got some a brand new bowl and brand new vert ramp over in Curitiba. So shout out to any of the homies over in Curitiba that are watching Miguel rip it up down here at the Park Series.
Wow, so again, a really strong start, but this is where utilizing the entire 45 seconds and not just making it all the way, packing tricks in. The judges, not only are they looking for difficulty and consistency, but they're looking for how many tricks you do, because you can do 5 crazy tricks, but you need to do 10 crazy tricks to really get their attention. Here goes Jack Fardell, a PS Pro Select skater.
Styly front 50 through the deep end. It's my favorite part of his run right there, that twisted out shifty. Fardell's really figured this line out. I love that 5-0 up the extension. He's been adding a couple different tricks in that, but he's got the staple go-tos that he's really figured out how to put this line together. That back nose blunt was butter right there.
10 seconds for Fardell.
Oh, he was going for the rail. We talked about that earlier. We haven't seen anyone try that yet. Looked like he almost took out some of the spectators, but look.
Yeah, I think he hit a photographer, but hey, we told you in our intro
that
they're going to use these guardrails. I loved seeing Jack Fardell's name on our Select Pro list, because he's kind of a wild card. You know, he's so smooth and so fun to watch, but he can pull things out of that bag of tricks that you would have no idea.
I think it's just cool that Australia is represented. They have such a cool scene down there. We had the first Park Series stop down in Melbourne, and it's cool that Australia is represented on the whole tour.
All right, from Portland, Oregon, it is Kevin Kowalski with his second run here in the finals.
There's the finger flip lean disaster again. I love that first trick of Kevin's run.
It's crazy that he still gets so much speed out of that trick.
Yeah, no kidding. Roll out, Smith grind in. Love the little tailbone style on the backside air and the slob plant off the extension.
I like that he's adding tricks, adding speed.
Whoa, that's a tricky line right there. Hurricane to fakie in the shallow end. That is so tricky on something that's not very steep.
Proper use
Just
of the
a couple
car.
seconds to go right here. Feeble to fakie up the escalator. And that's going to be time right there. Another really solid run for Kevin Kowalski.
So he used the whole park, but did he use the deep end enough?
Boy, he started off with, I mean, I think that was probably Kevin's best run because he just packed so many tricks in there. Even just instead of doing carves or grinds, he did hurricane to fakies and feeble to fakies. I don't know if it's going to be in the 80s, but that was a really good run.
Kevin Kowalski, so consistent. 73.68, enough to keep him in 4th place. He was in that top 3 in Melbourne, getting 3rd place with an 83.03 in our first stop. This is Tom Shar. This dude's been on the skate map forever.
Yeah.
He's here to stay, folks.
And now that he's got a solid run in the bag, looks like he might be able to switch it up. Oh, unfortunately fell off on the big backside ollie disaster. That was a pretty beefy, lean melon tweaked out to start it off. But I think now that Tom has that 80, he might be able to try take a couple risks, maybe like that kickflip stalefish that we saw in the semis.
Again, rare to see Tom Shar fall. Alex Sorgente sitting at 8th right now in the results of the tour. Let's see if he can bump himself up. He's in.
Wow. Front tail stall popping in. That is super hard.
He skates fast. I like it.
Huge, probably the biggest body jar that we've seen in that deep end. He was going too fast for the shallow right there, taking the front foot off on the backside ollie re-entry. Full speed attack by Alex Sorgente.
Talk about reacting. He has just amplified his speed by about 3 times. Oh, he was on a burner right there.
He's
gotta
still
stay
smiling.
on. 45 seconds. That was looking like it was going to be one of those runs that just blows the minds of the judges. You got to finish strong. He's 83.10 for first place.
He was in 5th after his first run with a 70, but I think that's probably going to bump up a bit. He had an early fall on his first run.
Talking to a guy who's won a few contests himself.
Yeah.
Christian Hassoy is here. He is beloved in Brazil.
Yeah, we talk about how much Brazil loves Pedro. Brazil loves Christian Hassoy.
They're going to love Tristan Rennie as well. We'll see what he's got. He's got 40 seconds on the clock.
Tristan actually came down here a couple of years ago for one of the contests in Pedro's backyard when Tristan was still amateur. He skated the AM division down here, so this is the first time that he's been down to Florianopolis skating with the pros.
Looks like he's online for a better run at this point with 15 seconds to go.
I love that alley-oop in the air. It's one that I always think of Rune Glifberg when I see that one.
Second time, though, he's landed in the flats, which really kind of takes some wind out of his
Wow,
sails.
did you see that nose grind fully, like almost stopped? He was perfectly balanced on that front truck.
That would have been a hell of a way to end that run. It was looking really good. The landing in the flats, though, really,
Yeah,
that just kind of like pulled him back.
Took his speed away. Yeah, if he could do that same line and just catch some more tranny on that alley-oop in the air.
Scores are coming through. It's good, 71.03. That'll get him in 6th place. And as the crowd flares up, that could only mean one thing. It's Pedro Barros.
Look at this. Look at the speed he just rolls into. There's the frontside air that went wrong last time. Alley-oop! Oh my gosh! Another early fall for Pedro. Is Ivan Frederico gonna steal one in Pedro's backyard?
Well, quick punches to his face by himself.
That just shows how much he wants it.
Does he want it too much? Could that be the question? You got to think there's a lot of pressure on Pedro. I mean, literally his backyard. If anyone can bounce back and answer the call, it is Pedro Barros.
Look.
Watch out, because this guy's got no pressure.
Look at this. We are halfway through the finals, and Ivan Frederico is still in first place.
He's got room to grow as well.
Oh, he missed his pump right there. He missed the setup. He wasn't able to flip his board like he planned. He's going to have to switch his plan up right now and try something difficult.
Off his original line, but still making it work.
Yeah, I love that natural disaster. I always heard it. I think Rick McCrank might have named that one a few years ago.
At 12 seconds. What's he going to finish with? Winding up.
There's the kickflip melon into the deep end. See if he tries to flip his board again. Nope, alley-oop nose grab. And that's going to be time for Ivan's second run. Another super solid run. Does this guy fall?
Wow. Ivan Federico from Turin, Italy. The Italian Alps are going off right now watching this
I think
kid.
it's worth mentioning, when we came here early this morning for a production meeting, he was skating the park alone by himself. He was the first person here practicing for the semifinals before the staff even got here.
Wow, so run 2 comes through, 80.34, still enough to keep him in first place. Now we're going on to this ever important third run for all of our skaters. We're going back to the top of the list. So even Ivan Federico hanging on to that top spot. Tom Sharp has kind of worked his way up.
He has, man.
80.30.
He hangs on, and he's going to be a factor before this thing is over.
What name are we missing in that top 5?
Yeah, no Pedro. Pedro's in 7th place right now with a 69.
All right, so Pedro Barros, he has 2 more chances. Here we go, his third run. Miguel Oliveira, the wild card, coming into the final 8.
Currently sitting down in 8th place, but he did not even think he was in the finals 2 minutes before it started. Unfortunately, one of his countrymen, Vika Quino, got injured, and Miguel was in 9th, so we were able to squeeze him in. Look at that big 1-foot body jar. Frontside invert stays on, a little push off with your hand, and that's when loose trucks will catch you.
I loved that he, I mean, again, you saw him hanging on with his, just everything he had. It all went wrong. The crowd's still loving it. Miguel Oliveira, he needs an 83.10 for first place.
Our buddy,
obviously, that's not going to do it, but he's
Marco
got one more
Cruz
opportunity.
Giving him
Crowd's still loving it. Miguel Oliveira, he needs an 83.10 for first place.
Our buddy,
obviously, that's not going to do it, but he's
Marco
got one more
Cruz
opportunity.
Giving him some words of it. He's helping the guys out with some live announcing to the crowd.
Calm, cool, collected. Jack Fardell is in with 45 seconds.
Yeah, Jack Fardell's also kind of hung around there all day, and right now he's sitting in 3rd place.
Man, so much flow in his skating.
He's ended up being, you know, one of the most consistent guys of the contest. Just to be able to do that trick every time is unbelievable.
That trick's got to be one of the things that the judges have just been psyching on to throw out those big scores.
And the back nose blunt.
Difficulty.
Yeah.
Talking difficulty here.
Love the floaty frontside tail grab over the hip.
5 seconds.
Was curious if he was going to eye up the rail again, but looked like just a frontside ollie 360 to finish it off right there for Jack Fardell.
He's keeping it chill with the same run that he's been on, just adding little things here and there. Jack Fardell is become a household name, I would say, within the past 2 to 3 years. He's quickly rising up on the list of everybody's favorite skateboarder.
If he wasn't a household name before, I think that video part that he just put out should do it.
And that last run improves. 78.35. Judges loving the flow, technical ability of Jack Fardell. With his 3rd run, Kevin Kowalski doing it for Portland, Oregon.
Another guy that seems like he's been around forever, but still only 24 years old. Love that first wall, finger flip disaster.
Skating to Slayer. It is a park staple when it comes to getting psyched.
And this is a guy that I feel like the format of the Vans Park Series really suits him, because he is so good at adapting to different parks. You know, you can go to parks that have a big 12-foot vert wall and he can kill it. You can go to parks that are 2 feet tall with tight trannies and he can kill it. Slaw plant disaster off the extension.
Just adding little things to his run.
Yeah.
2 seconds, one more trick. That's going to be time for Kevin Kowalski.
Front blunt at time.
Just a bonus front blunt, so easy.
And a bonus, just 5 with a fakie roll in.
I like that run. I think that was really smart. Again, adding the little things, landing disaster real quick. And I think the judges are going to eat that up because they like to see improvement with each run.
Right, and Kowalski, I think it's worth mentioning, blew our minds in Melbourne with one of the gnarliest transfers we've ever seen. There was a bowl-to-bowl transfer that Kowalski did that no one else even looked at.
He's a transfer king. Here you go, Mr. Consistency. Tom Shar is in.
Tom Shar had a uncharacteristic early fall last run. See if he can hold on the big backside disaster right there. 3 quick hits in the deep end to start it off for Tom.
Big speed, winding up. So far, so good.
Wow.
20 seconds to go.
Love that nose grind over the hip. Another big backside ollie disaster.
What's he got for the finish? 10 seconds left.
I love that floaty backside ollie over the hip. Is he gonna go for the kickflip stalefish down here? Look at the feet adjustment. Oh, it stuck to his feet, but he didn't feel confident enough to throw it down. You can tell when he's going across the flat, that foot adjustment, just setting his front foot up to kickflip the board.
Must be a little stressful as you hear time winding down and they're saying 3 seconds and you're still in that back bowl knowing that you want to end your run with something big in the deep end. So Tom Shar waiting for the score. You're going to hear it, our live announcers, legendary as well. And the scores are coming through, 75.07. That's enough to keep him in second place. And again, the crowd goes berserk. That means Pedro Barros is about to roll in. Oh, Alex Sargente.
Yeah.
Hey, they love him too.
That must have meant Pedro was taking a practice run if the crowd was that loud.
Oh, so Pedro was hyping the crowd up for Alex. That's brotherhood right there.
That is,
you gotta
man.
love it. So first wall rebate comes into play. 30 seconds left for Alex Sargente.
Yeah, Alex is really utilizing that first wall rebate. Did that, had the early fall on his first run also. Big lean to tail in the deep end. But I feel like the time that you lose when you use that first wall rebate sometimes might make it not worth it, because ends up taking 10 or 15 seconds just to try and get your speed back.
Sargente, one more trick opportunity. Hops in with speed. What's he got?
Big judo to tail.
Quick feet for Alex Sargente. That's going to be a run. What do you think? I'm liking it. The reaction from the first fall didn't seem to affect him. He lost about 10 seconds on the time, but finished strong.
I like just that every run Alex has taken in the semis and in the finals is just a completely different run. He's also got such a big bag of tricks and just is so good at just keeping his speed on all these walls. He's able to just, it looks like he's kind of rolling in and winging it every run, and he's making it work.
Well, the score to beat, 83.10. Waiting for the judges to call it in. Yeah, he improves a little bit, 78.99. That's enough to get him in third place.
Yeah, bumps past Fardell, so Alex was in fourth. Now he bumps into third, just past Jack Fardell.
Here we go, Tristan Rennie.
Love the light-footed style, man. He's got such a rad, narrow stance, and he's just able to snap over those hips. Big backside melon disaster.
Wow, he really floats around the park. It's so fun to watch.
I saw Tristan skating here early yesterday morning. He was really, really wanted to make it into today's semifinals.
Wow. How quick a feat do you have to put in 3 tricks in one?
He is really good at skating backyard pools, and when you skate backyard pools and shallow ends, you have to think really quick, and your feet have to work really quick.
3 seconds, looking for a big finish.
There's the alley-oop bendy, catches a little bit of tranny, he ollies up into nose. Let's see if he can do the cab back lip. Doesn't quite get it.
Was after time?
That was super close, man. I love that 3-trick combination to end his run right there. Tristan just put out quick little video part a couple weeks ago with a Rockstar Energy of him skating some backyard pools. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Now the crowd is getting hyped. And I love that Pedro has been consistently hyping up the crowd for all of the finalists.
That's awesome.
This is a rabid fan base.
Yeah,
Love
Tristan
skating down here.
bumps up a bit, a few points into 5th spot right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Barros. You know he's hanging on to that.
Yeah, looked like he decided not to do the alley-oop backside grab. Can Pedro hang on?
So far, so good. 28 seconds to go.
Look at how he skates the perimeter of this course. He doesn't even go across the flat, it looks like. Back lip in the deep end. Oh, he falls on the easiest trick of his run. Just a little 5-0 over the hip.
He's tripping.
He's
talking to his skateboard going, come on, what do I got to do?
He is going to have one more chance.
If anybody can do it, Pedro can do it.
Yeah.
But there's a guy standing in his way. He's from Turin, Italy, and he's one of my new favorite skateboarders. Ivan Federico.
We have seen this guy come from the amateur ranks. Just 2 years ago, I remember seeing him skate the AM contest at Vertitac, and a lot of the AM contests around the world stepped it up to the pro ranks, but we did not expect him to be knocking Pedro off in his hometown.
Here he goes, third run for Ivan Federico.
And we saw he's still got some more tricks in the bag. Wow, bonus tail slap on the kick
3 in a
melon.
Adding the extra degree of difficulty.
And you can tell he's got the confidence now, man.
Oh, he's loose, he's feeling it.
540 rock and roll, grabbing the nose. We call that one the natural disaster.
15 seconds, still another flawless run.
Yeah, he has proved to be one of the most consistent skaters at the Park Series. Is he going to try and do the kickflip lean melon? Wow, another amazing run for Ivan. Kickflip melon disaster, are you kidding me?
I'm in shock.
Wow.
I'm in shock right now. In many ways. He's had 3 perfect runs in a row. He's adding tricks to each run. He's getting better with each run. He's got no pressure right now.
He's
cruising.
He is the one that's putting the pressure on the hometown hero.
Peter's going, why the hell did we invite this kid?
He's 86.35.
He's got 3 scores in the 80s, and he just keeps blasting that score up. 86.37. That makes it that much harder. And here we are, folks. This is your top 5 finalists, all vying. So 8 guys with 1 more chance. A lot of money on the line, a lot of pride, and the standings going into the 3rd event. This is where it all shakes out, Neil.
Out of the top 5, we have 4 challengers and 1 Select Series pro.
Miguel Oliveira, last chance for the young Brazilian skate phenom.
He's currently in 8th at the bottom of the pack for the finals, but like we mentioned before, he didn't even think he was in the finals until it started. He has shown that he definitely deserves to be in with the best in the business in the Park Series. There's that combo, the tricky frontside invert to eggplant combo in the deep end.
20 seconds.
Yes, hang on, buddy.
On his way to his best run yet.
Yeah, this is the best run we've seen him pull off in the finals. Back D revert in the deep.
8 seconds, 1 more opportunity. What's he got for the finish?
Back boneless on the extension. That was a great run. All of the underdogs are coming through at Vans Park Series Floripa.
Get up, get up. Miguel Oliveira just comes out throwing haymakers.
Wow.
His final run, by far his best go. Now it's silent. People are going, what just happened? Miguel Oliveira.
Seriously. We were, they're cheering for their Brazilian heroes. Did they know that Miguel Oliveira was going to be ahead of Pedro on the score sheets?
All right, as we're waiting for scores for Miguel Oliveira, the crowd just slowly rising up with their noise. He's bloody, he's battered, and it's a big score.
Wow,
it comes through.
Second place.
80.98.
We have 2 unknown challengers in 1st and 2nd, Ivan Federico and Miguel Oliveira.
He can't even breathe. This kid's freaked. There's your top 5. What? Are you kidding me with those names?
Wow. Hey, they've deserved it.
Yeah, this is no fluke. These dudes have been ripping. Ivan Federico with that 86.37. Here's your 5th place skater, Jack Fardell, with one last chance.
Oh no, he washed out on the front 50. Oh, that's a way to save it right there. That was
Sketchy.
amazing. That is no joke, just to ollie in. Oh, he was trying to up the difficulty with that front nose blunt slide.
Got to give it up for Jack Fardell. It's had to be considered an underdog coming into this event. Didn't skate in Melbourne.
You know,
And he
that's
comes
the
out
same
strong.
spot that Ben Hatchell stuck on the front blunt slide. It really seems like that one spot seems to be super sticky. I haven't seen that section slide for anyone.
Well, as it stands now, Jack Fardell hangs on to 5th place. So with 45 seconds on the clock, we're straight into it. Kevin Kowalski, last run in the finals. $35 in. What's he got to change up, Neil?
I don't know, man. He has such a big bag of tricks that he has so much stuff. We talked about, he's battling a bit of an ankle injury. He was in a boot just a few days ago. So I think, Kevin might just be trying to get through this one and just trying to stay healthy for the next couple stops. There, finally someone used the rail.
What were you just saying? What were you just saying about playing it safe?
I've been wrong on a lot of predictions today.
Well, this has been so far the most unpredictable stop on the
But we
Vans.
were hoping, we put that in our park preview because I thought someone would use the rail, and it didn't happen for the first 95% of the contest.
I was totally with you when you said, he's just cruising, he's just trying to survive. And then he goes and just swings for the fences and pulls it.
I saw him in Austin, Texas a week ago with a big boot on his foot. He couldn't even walk, and he was just like, I said, hey, buddy, are you going to be able to skate X Games? He's like, I don't know. I'm just going to take the boot off right before the contest and wing it.
Well, sorry, Miguel, but Kevin Kowalski just yanked one in off the guardrail, and that's enough to get him in 2nd place. Portland, Oregon's finest concrete monster.
I think he
Kevin
was just
Kowalski.
eyeing that up all week. He didn't even want to practice it or bring it up because it would show someone that it was even possible.
Wow, all right. Final run, Tom Schaar, he's in.
Really want to see Tom do that kickflip stalefish at the end of his run. But first of all, he's got to get to the end of his run. Needs an 86.38 for 1st place.
His best start yet. Tons of speed, 29 seconds to go.
Love that floaty, ollie the tail and the quick tail slide. Did that front 5-0 instead of the nose grind. That might be a point or so lower, but I know that he's just trying to set up for that last trick.
All right, don't get lost here. 10 seconds to go.
It's going to come down to this last trick. You're going to see him set his foot up across the flat, going for a kickflip stalefish. No one else has done this trick down here. Oh, he looked like he grabbed the tail instead of stale.
He knew it right there. Hey, another great run. Had he pulled that last trick, could be a different story, but Tom Schaar.
But that's the risk that you got to take. You see the guys that are sitting up at the top, like Kevin Kowalski, you got to try something super hard and risky to get way up into the 80s.
Well, the only challenger that was above Tom Schaar was Corey Juneau, who lost yesterday. So this could be good for Tom Schaar, 72.49. That puts him in 4th place.
Yeah, Tom's going to be looking good in the points race to become one of the challengers that qualifies for Malmo for sure.
And on that same note, in 8th place right now on the series, it is Alex Sorgente.
Currently in 5th place. Huge 540 nose grab natural disaster. That's the same trick that Ivan Federico is doing down in the shallow end bowl pocket.
On a grander scale.
Yeah. Look at this. Sorgente is on fire right now. This is the most solid start we've seen to one of his runs in the finals. He knows this could be his contest for the taking with Pedro having a few falls.
15 seconds, strong finish. Sorgente, what's he got?
10 seconds to go. Couple more tricks down here. 1 foot. disaster foot off, and he is going Grayson Mongo style.
Oh man, that was looking like it had the potential for a winning run. And the boards come in, the boards get focused.
Alex almost, Alex is like, I'll focus your board too. Grayson is like, no, you're not.
Wow.
That was amazing. Such rad camaraderie and friendship among all these guys.
Hey, that's a way to get the crowd hyped too. That was.
I guess Alex isn't skating best trick.
Alex Sorgente coming through with his fourth run, a 78.64, just below run number 3. 5th place, a solid finish. He was sitting at 8th after Melbourne. We're seeing where that puts him on our leaderboard. Watch out, Tristan Rennie's got one more opportunity.
Currently in 7th place, but hasn't put the full 45 seconds together in the finals, and he's not going to do it on his last run either.
Anticlimactic.
That was anticlimactic. Let's let him keep. I want to give just a rebate for the announcers, man.
That'd be like a third wall rebate.
I wasn't ready to be done with Tristan Rennie, man.
Well, hey,
I wanted to see
get
that.
ready, because you know who's coming up next. You know what we're about to hear. The crowd's about to go mental.
Pressure
45
is on.
seconds is on for Pedro Barras. Can he put it together?
This is the last chance for Pedro right here. One last chance in his hometown. Everyone expected Pedro to dominate this contest, and he's in 8th place. He is in last place among the finalists.
24 seconds. Hang on, Pedro.
Last run, he fell right here on this 5-0 over the hip. This run, he makes it perfect. Still on his board with 15 seconds to go.
And the music cranks up. 10 seconds for Pedro Barros.
Still hear the crowd. The music is so loud right now, and the crowd is going crazy.
Mortal Kombat, finish him. Go, Pedro.
Wow. Is this going to be enough? Frontside 5-0 to fakie.
Well, the crowd thinks it's enough.
The crowd thinks it's enough. That was an amazing way to skate this park, but I still think in the world of Pedro, that was a little bit safe.
Thank God the crowd can't hear us.
Oh my God.
This is where you don't want to be a judge.
The judges
now the crowd goes
have
silent.
I mean, you know, to compare Ivan Federico to Pedro, Ivan flipped his board twice, but Pedro had speed lines and airs that Ivan didn't have.
Well, we know who the people's champion is.
Look at that, blowing kisses. Oh man.
I'm scared.
If Pedro isn't on top, they might rip the scores down.
And
First
it's
place,
89.65.
Wow.
Hey, don't pop the champagne yet.
There's still one more guy.
He says, hold up. All right.
There's still one more guy. Pedro is telling them, stop.
Stop spraying me. Chill.
There's one more skater, Ivan Federico.
Oh, this is how you script a contest. This is how you do it.
It doesn't get any better than this, man.
We've got the favorite, the local hero, going up against the underdog, Ivan Federico. What's he got?
We did not expect this guy to even be a factor in the final. Look at that! And Pedro wins!
And with that, Ivan Federico, the underdog from Turin, Italy, goes down. And the local favorite, the guy we all picked to win, Pedro Barras, is stop number 2 champion. We're going to go down to the deck with Chris Pastras. The crowd is going absolutely.
Describe what you're feeling right now, Pedro.
Oh my God, I don't have any description for this. It was already a gift to have this park here built in Costera, and this is the island I love, this is the people I love, and just be able to skate next to all these guys and be able to make this happen for Floripa. That was the win for me, and I'm really stoked with that. E agora eu vou falar em português, pau no cu do inglês.
What is this win? Keep going.
E é isso aí. Eu só tenho a agradecer a todo mundo a galera que fez isso aqui acontecer, os skatistas aqui da costeira, das copas que pegaram e meteram a mão na massa e fizeram essas paredes ser erguidas, que vão ficar porque é concreto e daqui ninguém vai tirar isso aqui. E é isso aí, isso sim é a vitória, ganhar uma pista de skate na costeira, com nível internacional e acabou de ter essa competição. E acho que nada mais justo que o título tá no Brasil. E é isso aí, na real, o título tá aqui na costeira, tá no coração de todos vocês.
Pedro, what does this win mean for skateboarding in Brazil?
It means, you know, it just means we won a great park. We won this event. We got the Vans Park Series to come to Floripa, and they made it happen, and all the people from Brazil made it happen, you know? So that's the win. And, I mean, I didn't want to get out of this final without being able to skate good. That was my only wish. And Ivan, you killed it. Congratulations, man. And everybody else in this final. V, my friend, he hurt himself, but he was killing it. Everybody, my family, my love, everybody, my love, Floripa, everyone. Thank you.
Congrats, Pedro. You heard it here. The man, the champ. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with awards and our best trick.
A storybook ending, David and Goliath, whatever you want to call it. That was a hell of a way to end. Stop to the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. Let's just talk real quick about the judging. You had two guys skating totally different. How did that one shake out for you?
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like Hawk versus Hosoi in the 80s. You have one guy that's super tech. You have one guy that's just flying around doing huge airs, high speed. It was controversial, and we argued about it in the 80s. It's controversial, and we're going to argue about it here in 2016. Ivan Frederico, hey, props out to Ivan, man. He killed it. First place in prelims yesterday, was in first place through the whole finals, got bumped out by Pedro in the end.
With the weight of the entire country on his shoulders, he blew it 3 runs in a row, and Pedro Barros came back, grand slam, home run, whatever you want to call it, whatever sports cliche you got, put it on that 4th run. Pedro Barros is our champion for the Vans Pro Skate Park Series, live from Floripa, Brazil. And now let's go down to the awards to give away some cash and some hardware.
All right. Thank you, Neil and Chris. This is Ryan Clemens from the border down here. And we just want to say thank you to everybody out here for having such a great contest here in Florianopolis. Want to say thanks to our friends at the border, everyone that made the webcast happen. I want to say thanks to this man right here, Steve Van Doren. Without this man right here, none of us would be here. Steve. Yeah, right, exactly. Steve. And to all of our friends in Florianopolis and Brazil, thank you guys so much for having us here. You guys are wonderful. It's an amazing place. Please take away my man Marco and Tim O'Connor. Here we go.
All right, without further ado, let's give these humans some trophies and loot. All right, from the president of ASCOP, we got Goo. He's going to be presenting the third place trophy to none other than Kevin Kowalski. Let's hear it for him.
Terceiro lugar, o Kevin Kowalski. Vamos aplaudir aí, galera. Kevin Kowalski, terceiro colocado no Vans Park Series.
All right. And in second place, qualifying first in the qualifiers and the semifinals, losing the lead at the last moment, we have introducing the second place trophy, George Neese from Sports Foundation. Let's give it up for Ivan Federico!
Segundo lugar, Juan Frederico. Moleque quebrou, liderou quase o final da competição, mas o Pedro veio, foi incrível.
All right. And we all know this guy presenting the first place award. Vans' own Steve Van Doren, VP of Event Marketing. You know who he is. Giving the first place trophy to none other. You know him, you love him, Pedro Barros!
Primeiro colocado, Pedro Barros, local de Floripa. Não tem muito o que falar, né, galera? Eu acho que o skate dele fala por ele. E moleque é muita humildade, ajuda o skate realmente muito irado.
All right, congratulations to these guys. Congratulations, Pedro Barros. We'll be back in just a bit with Best Trick, so stay put, everybody.
Vamos voltar pro Best. Eu queria agradecer muito aí, especialmente ao Gil, por trazer.
Hell yeah, thanks Tim O'Connor and the crew, Ryan Clements on the deck, keeping everybody on hand, entertained, and informed. Steve Van Dorn, of course, can't be a contest without Steve. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty here. As you know, this is a series. This isn't a one-off. Stop number 2 of the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. We're going to see some shuffling on that leaderboard. What do you notice about that podium?
Yeah, well, we had a lot of huge surprises at this event, but just looking at that podium, 2 of the same guys from Melbourne were on the podium here in Floripa. Huge surprises at this event, but just looking at that podium, 2 of the same guys from Melbourne were on the podium here in Floripa. Pedro finished second in Melbourne, ends up back on the podium with the foot plant off the rail on his last run. Unfortunately, Chris Russell, who took the win in Melbourne, didn't even make the finals, switched out that podium with the new guy, Ivan Federico.
Yeah, and once all the mathematics starts to shape up, then we're going to see our list of challengers. Alex Sorgente, he did well. Tristan Rene, his name's going to be now there.
Tom Schaar
has two right up there. And you got to think, Ivan Federico, is he going to be buying a ticket to Huntington Beach in Vancouver? He's got to.
He better be, and I think a couple of his sponsors that are watching back in Italy are going to be trying to get him at the rest of the stops for sure.
He probably just got 10 new sponsors. Well, there's a look at your final results, 1 through 8, an incredible list of skateboarders. Pedro Barros, of course. Some of the surprises I see on there, of course, Miguel Oliveira in 4th place. Dude, barely missed qualification, then got put back into the finals through an injury. So a huge surprise name. Tom Schaar in 5th, Sargente 6th. You kind of expected that. Jack Fardell, this is his first event, missed Australia. Comes through in 7th place, really quietly making his way into the final with Tristan Rene as well.
Tristan Rene had, on his best run, he fell right at time on the cab back lip over the hip. I feel like if he would have made that trick, he would have been up in the 80s also.
There you see the park now just calming down after what we just witnessed. And we got to give it up again for Ivan Federico. This dude ripped from day one, from Dawn Patrol on. He is with Chris Pastras.
So, Ivan, congratulations. 2nd place, your first showing at Vans Park Series. describe what you were feeling at the end of that contest there. We were all sitting on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Pedro is skating really good. It's amazing. Yeah. Me, the first time I'm the podium, I'm really, really happy. Yeah.
First contest, first podium. Were you cheering on for Pedro, or did you want to see a fall and take the win?
Sorry?
Did you want Pedro to make his run?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, amazing.
That's the brotherhood of skateboarding. It's not like other sports.
Yeah, no. For me, when my friend win, I'm really happy for him. And yeah, it's really good to see.
Amazing. And are we going to see you at more Vans Park Series stops?
Yeah, for sure. I go in Vancouver and in California, yeah.
You got any words for your homies back in Italy?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Send them a message. Send Italy a message right here.
Okay, what?
You got a message for Italy?
In Italian?
Sure.
Ah, ok. Ciao papà, ti voglio bene, grande. Ciao.
That's right. Congrats, Ivan. Back to you guys up top. Woo!
And that's a feel-good story in itself right there. And I'll tell you, that dude just blew this place apart. He had the lead up until the last 45 seconds and put his name on your list of guys to watch. He's looking, I mean, of course, it's one event, but I'm telling you, he's looking like he's knocking on the door as one of the qualifiers to make that final, the World Championships in Malmö, Sweden.
And he just answered the question. He said he is going to Vancouver and he is going to Huntington Beach, California. So hopefully he will be able to bump into the top 5 challengers to make it to Malmö.
Well, there you hear the music's cranking back up. That can only mean one thing. We always like to end with a bang, so we're going straight in to best trick.
All right, what's up? We are live in Florianopolis, Brazil. I love this place. I want to live here. I am Tim O'Connor on the microphone with my Portuguese-speaking Brazilian counterpart, Marco. We're going to get best trick going in the big section here.
Yeah, estamos aqui agora pro Best Trick. Vale apenas essa parte do deep end, essa parte funda aqui. A galera pode usar a criatividade, usar do jeito que quiser. Até agora ainda meio a emoção à flor da pele devido à final, grande final aqui em Florianópolis.
Whoa! Lucas Zaparov, front 5-0 popping out the fakie. We got $2,500 in USD to give out on the spot.
$2.500, galera, em premiação.
Oh, Heracles, I see what he's going for. I want to see that one. Fakie big spin to front blunt.
Heracles, o Tim O'Connor tá falando pra você dar o fake big spin front blunt.
Yeah, I like Robin, how he's jumping in like that. Robin Bolian. Oh, damn. Yeah, Lucas.
Lucas, frontside nose grind, please.
I like what you're thinking. Yeah, frontside flip.
Simon, 20 bucks.
Simon, you got 20 bucks, bud. We got 20 bucks for you. Oh.
20 bucks for the frontside flip.
Just so you know, when you guys, if we call you out, give you money, we're right here. There you go.
Galera, é dinheiro na mão, $2.500.
Who's that sexy mofo? Oh, damn! It's me.
Grayson.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Grayson. You know he's got the illest frontside flip in the game. Oh,
Wow.
Zion, finger flip to tail. 40 bucks for your mustache wax. Come here. Get up here, Zion.
$40, valeu ali a manobra, um finger flip Madonna.
Oh, that back tail is ridiculous. Yeah, Zion. Yeah, Lucas. Taking the street into the vert. Woo! Crisscross crash. Zion wasting no time, right back in there.
Josh Barden. Heracles.
Yeah, Heracles going for the swivel hips.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, Grayson. You get some money, Grayson. $100, Grayson. Oh, I want to see that back tail. That is ridiculous right there.
$100 pelo frontside flip do Grayson Fletcher. Hey, Grayson, come over here.
Oh, what? Yeah, Lucas. That is ridiculous. Going for the front nose grind. Skating it like a ledge. Smith grind to fakie. Heracles. The hard way. That gets no money, but it was sick.
Josh Borden.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Heracles almost getting that. Fakey big spin to front blunt. Yeah, Alex. Damn, this is a dangerous section to be flowing into. Yeah, Miguel right back out there, skating in the finals, right back in the best trick.
Yeah, Josh.
Cab Indy nose pick. Josh Borden, we got $20 for you, Josh Borden. Yeah, the front pivot, pop out the fakie, Grayson. Hell yeah. Woo, the lean front big spin to disaster. Zion, we got $20 for you. This $20 is from Chad Vaught. Yeah, Zion, come and find me. I got $20 for you.
Mikael dos Passos, chega aí. Yeah, one more time.
Oh, we got money for you. Come on up here.
Hey, Mika, chega aí, Mika. Pega o dinheiro aqui. How much is it? 40. Mikael dos Passos, $40 aqui pra você.
Robin Bolian with a sugar cane. I don't think that's going to get money, but still sick.
Depois você entrega pro cheirinho, viu, Mika?
Oh, two guys skating the bowl like a street. Oh, everybody vying for a space out on that ledge.
Rolando aí o best trick.
Oh, front crooked grind. Yo, you get $20, Grayson.
$20 pelo frontside crooked do Grayson Fletcher. Yeah, Braulio.
Where's Grayson at? I got
Grayson Flat.
Got $20 for that front crooked grind. Hell yeah, Grayson. You got 4.5 minutes left, guys. Oh, that back tail. So sick. Yeah, Josh. Fakey big spin to front pivot. We got $20 for you, Josh. Colin Grant. Colin Graham. Oh, Riley.
Miguel Oliveira. Oh. Lucas. Oh.
Yeah, Lucas. Oh, my Lord. Serious Madonna, but you get nothing. Ah, 1 foot, but we know you got that every try with your eyes closed.
Vamos, Ericles. Oh!
Oh, so close to that back tail slide out of the big bowl. Going to pop it in. Yeah, Alex gapping out the tail, almost landed a 180 out. Saran wrap body jar, gets nothing, gets a high five. Oh! Holy shit! $150, Mr. Sagas. Yeah.
Hey, Braulio.
Yeah.
$500 pelo backside tail slide transfer.
That was $350 right there. Damn, $350. Wow. That was insane right there.
Vai, meu.
Hey, hold up a second, everybody. Jack, cut the music. Jack, cut the music. Lower it, lower it. Yeah, everybody chill for a second. Thank you.
Galera do Socorro, por favor, aqui.
All right, Jack, turn the music
So
back
as
up.
best trick flares up as usual. Cleared the course for just a minute, but everybody's back at it, hitting it hard. Well, again, stop number 2. The Vans Pro Skate Park Series did not disappoint. Last second heroics from the hometown hero, Pedro Barros, and that leads us into 3 more events. We've got 2 more qualifiers, and then the World Championships in Malmo, Sweden. I think we're in for one hell of a ride, Neil
I wish
Hendricks.
Vancouver was next week, man.
I know, I want it
want
to be
just
tomorrow.
keep going.
So going into Vancouver, that's going to be the next step on the road to Malmo. And I'll tell you what, it's anyone's game when it comes to the qualifiers and how we get there.
Yeah, and now we got some, check it out, we got some progress on the construction of the park in Malmo. We got the Brigariette crew out in Malmo that's always done all the events and built all the parks there. I know they got a little bit of help from Dreamland Skate Parks out on this project. But yeah, it's looking amazing. I saw some photos and some of the designs. Looks like there's a big giant bank wall with trannies on each side. I'm super psyched about this contest coming up in August.
Now, of course, every year we build a skate park on the beach for the Vans US Open of Surfing for that stop on the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. But this concrete in particular is being poured for one specific reason. That's to host the first ever World Championships for the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. And this is really going to set the benchmark of what we're going to see in years to come on this series.
And next couple events are going to decide who competes in Malmo.
I'm loving it. Well, the crowd is still going off right here. So Florianopolis, this is going to be the scene of a big party tonight. So we started in Melbourne, Australia. We had Chris Russell as our winner there. We jumped down here all the way to Florianopolis, Brazil. Pedro Barros took the win here. Now we look forward to Vancouver, Canada, Hastings Park.
Yeah, Alex Sorgente has taken the win the last couple years, but I know that the field is going to be way more stacked this year now that it's part of the Park Series.
And from Vancouver, we go to Surf City, USA, Huntington Beach, California, That is going to be a huge stop. We're going to add the women onto that stop for the Vans Pro Skate Park Series in Huntington Beach, California, and then it all comes down to Malmo, Sweden.
Yeah, super excited. The women are going to be joining us both in Huntington Beach and Malmo, so that'll be a huge, much needed added addition here for Park Series, so we're super excited about that. And now, just after watching this contest, I think we got some new players in the game.
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's always cool to see underdogs coming through. And let's see how we got our current leaderboard, some highlights of 2 hectic days of skateboarding from here at this brand new park in Floripa, Brazil. This contest is definitely going to be talked about for the next couple of weeks at least until we get to Hastings. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, some of our favorite tricks, runs, probably some wipeouts.
Huge boosty, stalefish. This is Pedro. And the surprise of the day, Ivan Frederico. Look at that kickflip melon, almost hung up every time. One time he did take it to disaster. Nose grabbed 540 to rock and roll. And there, looks like Fardell was going for a board slide on the guardrail. Ivan Frederico has that kickflip melon so dialed.
Ivan filmed a video part for us just then.
Yeah, seriously. Love this tricky combo right here that Miguel did. One of his runs, he did frontside invert straight into an eggplant there in the deep end. Kowalski kind of started the finals conservative and just added tricks, added lines, kept adding to his bag to where he finally had an amazing last 4th run.
And don't let the Hesh hair fool you. The dude's a tactician and a technician.
Yeah.
He knows how to skate a contest.
He's super good at contest strategy. Alex Sorgente utilized the first wall rebate on a couple of his runs. Tristan Rennie, love that slaw plant disaster. I love Ivan Federico kickflip melon disaster backside. That was right at time on one of his runs. Miguel Oliveira hanging on. High five from Andre Barros, Pedro's dad. Look at that.
That was really what sealed the 3rd place finish
disaster
right
for Kevin Kowalski.
That was the trick, right? That bumped him up from, what, 5th to 3rd.
That was huge. I mean, that literally was like 8 bonus points on his run.
And let's not forget, so Pedro, yes, he did win this contest, but these first 4 events really are to find out which challengers we're going to take to the World Championships in Malmo. Tom Schar's looking good. Sorgente's looking good. Ivan Federico now puts his name on that list. It's going to be crazy to see what happens in the next 2 events.
But for Pedro, knowing Pedro, this contest was just as important as the World Championships.
This was Pedro's championships, and I think the crowd will agree, a fitting end to an epic event. So on behalf of myself, Neil Hendricks, all the crew around us, giving you the entertainment you all deserve in the skateboard world, we love you. Thanks for joining us. We were live from Floripa, stop number 2 of the Vans Pro Skate Park Series. We'll see you guys in Vancouver.
Thanks for watching, everyone.